It's nothing real big on the introduction. Once the radio side starts, then I'll turn my professional voice on and then go from there.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the way it goes, but what do you do? Hey, everybody on YouTube, how y'all doing? Hey, cousin Chad, are you tuning in? Are you down in Vegas? Are you tuning in? I got my cousin Chad in Vegas. Him and his beautiful wife, Lisa, moved down there from Alberta probably, 20 years ago now. And literally, my cousin has grown this beard, and now he looks like Bob Vila. Bob Vila. My cousin Bob Vila hanging on out in Vegas tonight. Oh, man. How y'all doing, YouTube? It's great to have each and every one of you here. We're actually dipping into the paranormal pool tonight. Spooky Old West stories, man. It's going to be a good time. Going to be a very good time tonight as Rhonda and Dwight Hull are our guests tonight, and we're going to have a lot of fun with them. A lot of fun because these two have literally traveled around all over the place. They got some incredible books that can be found on Amazon, and we'll get more into that when the show starts up. Let's give a shout out to everybody who is in the chat room so far. Space Cow, how you doing? Hey, Wayland in Bama. Crystal O, better than Crystal Light, I can tell you that. Michael, the Cherry Pepsi addict, good to have you here. Ad Gnome, I hope you're rocking with your gnomes outside. Thank you for coming on in. Hey, Middle Child, good to have you here as well. Hey, Brett, always a pleasure, my friend. Jules, you're looking beautiful tonight. Where are we here? Spookles the cat, purr. Purr. That's for you. That's my cat imitation. Hey, Kevin, how you doing, buddy? Good to have you here. Hello, the beautiful Moonstone. Thank you for coming on in. And hi, Sandra. Hi, Sandra. Hi, Sandra. Good to have you here. Hey, Amber, thanks for coming on in. Greco, I hope the chicken souvlaki was just perfect tonight. Appreciate that. Hey, BGs. And we'll wait for everybody else to come back in here. And there we go. Hi, Rhonda. Hi, Dwight. How you doing?
Doing good.
Doing good. Glad to be here.
Excellent. We are going to have a lot of fun tonight. Chat room continues to fill up. We got Slim. We got Stu. We got Millennium. Chuckles. How we all doing, everyone? How we all doing? I can't believe we're actually talking ghosts tonight. This is going to be cool. Hey, Renee in New Mexico, Pest 53. Thank you so much for coming on in. We rarely talk ghosts here, guys. Rarely talk ghosts. And, you know, the big reason why I don't do a lot of ghost hunting type shows is because the majority of the field has... well, let's just be honest. They're weirdos. They're a bunch of weirdos. And the most people who pulled out of the show at the last minute have been ghost hunters. I don't know why, but just the way it is. So we're very selective. You guys are veterans. You guys have a bunch of books out. That's what makes this tonight fun. This is where it's going to be a lot of fun. Cable Guy Matt is here. Hold on. Cable Guy Matt, we want to remind everybody you can get your free piece of coaxial cable autographed by Cable Guy Matt. You cannot buy these in stores. One per household, only 4,862 of them left. So make sure you get yours today. Hey, Cable Guy Matt, how you doing, buddy? Slim, good to have you here. Hey, Dirty Filth. Your artwork is awesome. Michael, thank you so much for the super chat. Kicking that off tonight. Really do appreciate that. And yes, Michael W. Hall is the best SOR host going, bar none. Bar none. One Nobody, how are you? Thank you for coming on in. Haven't seen you in about a week here. Hope you're doing well. And who else we got? We got BGs. Oh, we better start this one feed here because, you know, kind of have a radio show to do. So we'll start that up. Throw the old number 1 there. And 1 second here, my friends. We're about 1 minute away from launching the show. And making sure everything else is tight. My gosh, I think we're ready for an actual good show tonight. we're going to have a good show. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have a good show tonight. Hot damn. This is going to be great. Hey, Peanut Butter Rolls, good to have you. We're about 40 seconds away. So I'll read an intro to the show, intro to you, and then we are running and rolling here. Hi, Redheaded Lisa, Shanna Banana, thank you for coming on in. And, all right, let's send out our final tweet. And we're going to click onto our studio feed here. And here we go in about 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rock and roll. Music's on. Let's have a great show, everybody. And you, the listeners, the super chat is open. Thank you, Michael, for kicking things off. Don't forget to visit our website, spacedoutradio.com. Let's talk some ghosts tonight. Hey, Bama. Bama's here. And here we go. From the sunny mountains of central British Columbia to you listening around the world, this, my friends, is Spaced Out Radio. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. We welcome each and every one of you to tonight's show on our terrestrial affiliates across North America and digitally on TalkStream Live and Revolution Radio. If you want to take a listen to our archives, they are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do old Davey the favor, hit that subscribe button. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio for the show, and my personal handle at Dave Scott, SOR. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire, which is updated daily. Tonight's show is brought to you by Chive Charities. Help make the world 10% happier by visiting Chive Charities today. You can find them on our website. This unique husband and wife duo combine their psychic and mediumship abilities to assist both the living and those who have crossed over. Dwight and Rhonda Hull investigate reportedly haunted places to include historic locations, businesses, and private homes. As an animal communicator and psychic medium, Dwight and Rhonda use their gifts to speak with any animals or spirits present, along with the recording devices to find resolution for their clients. Their mission? Well, it's pretty simple. It's to investigate history through the voices of those who lived it. They got a fantastic website. You want to check it out. It's BelieveParanormal.com. Believe is like the B, B-E-E, leave, paranormal.com. We're excited to have them. Then at the bottom of hour number 3, I am going to bring you the SOR Newswire, brought to you by Paranoia Magazine. Dwight and Rhonda Hull, welcome to Spaced Out Radio for the first time. What a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we're happy to be here tonight.
Great to be here.
Absolutely. I got to ask you guys, and Dwight, we'll start with you here tonight. You know, how long have you been investigating the paranormal, and why did you choose this path?
Oh, I've been investigating the paranormal for, I think it's about 36 years now. Always been interested in the paranormal and ghosts, even as a small child. I started, with my psychic abilities and kind of realizing them when I was about 5. So it kind of progressed into ghosts and everything else. About 36 years ago, just really got interested and decided to start trying to do some kind of investigation. So I did. I grabbed my trusty reel-to-reel tape recorder.
Nice.
Yeah. We didn't have that digital stuff back then. So, had this little mini reel-to-reel that I took with me and, started out. And, the rest, as they say, is history.
You know what? Reel-to-reel, I remember when I came out of broadcasting school in 1998, I go work in this station, and I couldn't believe that the college that I was leaving was more technologically advanced than the radio station that I was doing my practicum in. So literally, for 4 straight weeks, I had to practice editing reel-to-reel tapes. And I will tell you, that is horrific. You don't know hell in broadcasting and audio until you are having to cut reel-to-reel tapes and splice them together.
Yes, the old little splicing machine that you had to line everything up and cut it, and
And then don't shake with the tape, that little thin tape that you had to connect the two, because the minute you started shaking, everything screwed up.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, very true. Very true. Rhonda, I want to bring you in here. Have you had your gifts for your entire life?
I have. Since I was about 6, that was my first spirit experience. And then it just progressed, excuse me, over the years, bringing in my psychic abilities. And then really I didn't start using them, if you will, till probably my mid to late 20s. But it just progressed, throughout the years. I started doing readings. And then when I met Dwight, that's when I started investigating. That was about 8 years ago.
Oh, wow. So here you are.
So I'm fairly new to the field.
But I mean, it also helps too to have Dwight there, who's been doing this for 36 years.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he knows everything really that there is to know, techniques and what is what, how to tell the difference between real and not real as far as evidence. He's been a fantastic learning tool.
I can feel him blushing right now. My own intuition tells me that Dwight is blushing right now, but
I want to meet this guy. He sounds great.
Oh, absolutely. You should. I heard he's a heck of a guy. I mean, just what do you do? What do you do? I want to ask you guys in regards to, and thank you for putting our advertisement on your website there, right on the front page. That was very nice. We appreciate that. I want to ask you, I mean, husband and wife teams, we've seen a lot of them in the paranormal. How does this affect your relationship in how you guys go about your daily lives and then have to go in there and battle these ghosts as a paranormal team?
It's rather seamless, really. This is what we do.
It's who we are.
Yeah.
I mean, this isn't just a hobby to us. It's not something that we do part-time. This is really our life.
So, it's an interesting dynamic because we are both psychics and mediums, investigators. So it's a neat dynamic that we just, we live. We don't just, like Rhonda said, it's not just a hobby. So, we can wash dishes and, talk ghosts, or we can, sit and watch TV or go out and have dinner. But, when it comes time to meet with a client or go out investigating, then, it's all business.
It's much more fun than sitting at home and watching.
Oh, boy,
TV.
is it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Like,
it sure is.
Like I was telling the audience yesterday, this past weekend, I went out in the forest and my buddies and I, we were out looking for Bigfoot. We spent like 4 hours out in the wilderness at night. Didn't find anything, didn't see anything. It was, no howling, no wood knocks, nobody telling us to shut the hell up, It would have been nice.
Experience.
Oh, yeah, but you got to get out there, because the one thing about this field, Rhonda, is we never know when it's going to happen. And it always seems to happen when you least expect. And if we're not out there,
exactly,
and we're not patrolling the areas that people say are haunted, or where there's cryptids or somewhere a UFO landed, we don't know if we're going to be missing something if we don't go there.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
So
if you're not open or out there doing it, you're gonna miss it.
So how long or how many times a week are you guys out investigating then?
Oh, it kind of depends on, our clients. We do a lot more readings than we do investigating. But we do we try to get out at least once a week, just to head out to an old ghost town or an old area where, we know that there was some, history involved, Old West history, and we'll try to find it and investigate it. We like taking our friends out to places that we've already been to kind of, break them into the paranormal and let them experience things. And, it's kind of a neat experience going out with us being psychic mediums because, it kind of brings a little bit of a different flavor to it. It's not just what you see on TV, and we're able to, because you mentioned it earlier about, TV paranormal, and I agree with you 110%. We are nothing like anything you see on TV. We're pretty straightforward, and, if it's not there, we're not going to tell you it's there if it's not there. So,
but we do have activity, at our house or friends' houses. So we do probably several investigations a month. May not be with a client we are not familiar with, but we're doing investigations.
I got to ask you this, with both of you being psychic, have you ever had a psychic argument where you're both trying to communicate with the same spirit, but the spirit is giving you two different stories?
I don't think we've had that. We've had where we thought we were talking to the same spirit and then find out that we were actually talking to two separate ones. But usually what will happen when we go out is one of us will connect with a spirit, and that's the person that we use as far as we don't both try to connect.
Right.
It's just whoever that spirit wants to connect to. And then we just kind of leave it at that. We just let that, either her or I communicate with them. And it makes it a lot easier and a lot less stressful. We think about the spirits too. And, if you've looked at our website and everything, we have nothing but high regard and respect for all the spirits that we go out and want to talk to. So we don't want to confuse them or try to bombard them or anything else like that. We kind of give them the choice. They kind of pick which one they want to talk to, and that's who we use.
Now, a lot of times when we go somewhere, a female spirit might feel more comfortable talking to me. Not always, but a lot of the time. If we go somewhere where there is military history, whether it was the Apache Wars out here or the Civil War, military spirits are, for some reason, I guess it's really not some reason, they're connected to Dwight. Every time we go to a place where there's been a battle, there's a brotherhood, even between the worlds. So, we never have the problem of trying to, both of us, talk to the same.
Because I would see any type of trickster spirits maybe trying to play you against each other. That would be awesome.
Well, we're pretty straight up forward, and I'm pretty blunt. So we haven't really experienced too much of that.
No.
They know your energy when you're, before you even get there. So they know if you're able to be played, so to speak.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I know that from dealing with my own personal experiences as well as talking to so many around here. Rhonda and Dwight Hull are our guests tonight on Spaced Out Radio. I got to ask you, in regards to investigation, we're going to get deep into the stories about your investigations coming up here later on in the show. Is there a difference between investigating, say, a place of business or a museum or a haunted ground comparatively to someone's home?
Oh, that's a really good question. We kind of conduct them in the same manner. Now, places of business, museums, stuff like that, we are not, big equipment people. We don't set up all the cameras and, we don't have the 6 flat screen monitors and all that. We do pretty much just her and I. We walk around. We have a digital voice recorder.
Couple of REM pods.
Couple of REM pods, yeah. And that's pretty much it. So, if we do a place of business or we do a museum, especially if it's, sometimes they have us come in while they're open. We try to keep it as low key as possible. But once they close, it's, a space is a space is a space, a home, a museum, a place of business. If they're closed and we're not trying to protect the owner of the business or whatever from, people knowing that he's having an investigation, then we just do it the same way we always do, whether it's a home or a museum or a place of business. Like I say, we're not real big equipment people. We have just a few pieces of equipment, and so it's not a lot of invasive, setting up cameras and doing all that.
No, you guys do it a little bit differently. And, it's actually kind of refreshing because so many teams out there have become so reliant on the technology. What's your opinion of the technology of ghost hunting?
I honestly, and I say this during a lot of our library talks and our talks that we give, I think the paranormal is literally technology themselves out of the business, basically. They're reliant so heavily on it that they forget why they're there and who they're talking to. These are just people without bodies. And when you've got all this equipment and, you're too busy looking at your screen, or you're focused on this or focused on that, you're not focused on what you should be, and that's the spirit that you came there for. And what bothers me most is when a lot of these paranormal teams will go in, they've got all this equipment and everything else, but when something real happens and they actually physically hear something, or then they get all scared and run out, and it's like, wait a minute, didn't you just go there for that? Stop watching TV. Yeah.
And really, you're there to help the client and the spirit.
Right.
So you're not doing that if you're not,
Right. So technology is great, and I don't put it down. It's just not for us. But I think you can really just you can use technology to the point where you're actually kicking yourself out of the field.
Well, that's probably one of the biggest things that is going on. And I just got to give a shout out to my cousin Chad in Vegas, who's tuning on in right now, because he's saying on YouTube, I look like an overgrown Colonel Sanders. Not very nice. Not very nice. But then again, anybody who mocks his new look to look like Bob Vila, I always question their own sanity. But nonetheless, moving on back to the paranormal here for a second. When I sit here and I hear what you're saying, I believe it or not, I actually find it quite refreshing. And as I asked you before about the technology, I find that so many paranormal groups are not there for the client. They're not there for the ghost. They're there for themselves. They're there for their own rush. They're there for their quote, end quote, scientific investigation, even though they can't admit to themselves that nothing they do is actually scientific because it's in an uncontrolled environment. So, getting past all the cliches that the newcomers have done, Dwight, being 36 years in, how do you combat that, saying, look, we do it this way. This is how we get our evidence. This is how we are doing it. It's been successful for us. We don't need all that fancy gear. We don't need to spend thousands and try and woo you over with all of our technology, because what we do works just as well.
Yeah, it does. And, we get a lot of new teams that come to us and ask us, about, the equipment we use. And, I tell them about the same thing I just told you, we don't.
A few devices.
Yeah. What makes a difference for us is, these teams go in with all this equipment and they get a blip here, they get a something over there, but it's not telling them anything. It's a blip or it's a something. We go in, we do the recordings. Sometimes we get EVPs, sometimes we don't. We use our psychic abilities. We'll hopefully, not all the time, but we'll hopefully come up with a name of the person, or, try to, find out who that person was. And then Rhonda will go, and she is amazing at this. She will research, and she digs into, if we do an old place, she'll dig into old records. And the name that came to one of us, there it is. And we're able to validate that for our client, not just telling them, oh, there was a woman in a dress here, the mystical woman in a white dress that, keeps roaming around. Well, that's nice. Who is she? And why is she there? The equipment can't tell you that. So we just get rid of the equipment altogether. We rely on ourselves. We rely on EVPs to hopefully get a little bit of confirmation. And then we dig in after the investigation. I want to make that clear. We never investigate a place knowing what is there. We don't research it before we go to a place. We only go after. So, again, our focus is on the client and the spirit. A lot of times we'll go places that there is no client, it's just spirits, and we try to help them if they need it. It's not, Ghost Whisperer where every spirit is locked and, they, need help crossing over. That's not the case. Very rarely does a spirit actually want to be crossed over or they need help crossing over. Most of the time, they're there because they want to be. And, I kind of took a rabbit hole there on you, but,
No, but I think it was I think it was a logical rabbit hole because you're going by what your evidence over 36 years has showed you. And I think to a degree, I can tell by the passion in your voices that this is something that you take very seriously. This is something that, you want to try and get the proper results. Comparatively to these days, to teams who are around, do you try and stay away from other teams or collaborating on investigations because of the difference in styles?
We don't seek out other teams, but a lot of other teams will come to us because we have been in it for so long. And I love that. I love being able to share our information and how we do things, to try to guide them with what they're doing. But we're very point blank. We tell them, look, if you're just paranormal thrill seekers, we really don't want to waste our time here. If you really want to know how to investigate and help a client or a spirit, then absolutely, we will definitely help you. So we don't actively seek out other groups, but, other groups do seek us out, and we love it. We really do. Whether they take our advice or not, hey, we put it on the table and they can pick what they want.
Well, I mean, that's kind of interesting. So you select and choose who you're working with because you want to work with people who, are in it for the right reasons, as we got about 100 seconds left before we got to go on air.
Right. Integrity is really important to us. So we want to make sure that if we're collaborating with somebody that they're on the same level, that, if they're just thrill seekers, then they can go elsewhere. If they're really in it because they're passionate about helping the living or the dead, then now we can talk.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, do you find teams opening up more?
Yeah. Well, some, yes. They, see how we do it and they're like, never thought of that. Well, again, we tell them, turn off the TV for a little while, investigate with your heart and leave the equipment at home for a little bit, get a feel for it. And then you'll be able to, cultivate yourself and learn how to do it properly.
You know what? That's probably one of the most important messages that ghost hunters could probably have is go out there and get a feel for it before going to spend hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on technology, because in the end, that's what it's all about, is getting a feel. And I agree with you guys, and I'm sure you'll agree with me. Getting that rush and trusting your own senses, as we've got about 30 seconds to go, is way more important than anything any gear can tell you.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I'll end that with an absolutely. Rhonda,
okay.
Dwight, you guys hold on. We're going to go to break here at the bottom of the hour as we have Rhonda and Dwight Hull. Their website, BelieveParanormal.com. B as in the bzz, type BelieveParanormal.com. All one word. Check it on out. Check out all their books on Amazon. They got some great writings, great stories. We're going to hear some of those stories coming up here in the second half hour of Space Down Radio, so stay tuned. All right, guys, we're clear. We're clear. Hi, YouTube.
Okay.
Hi, YouTube. How you doing? Hey, Nuck. Good to have you here. Hockey season's coming back. We're going to the playoffs. Going to the playoffs. I can't believe it. We made it. Either way. Hey, I'm Canadian. What am I supposed to do here? As Rhonda Dwight, I could just hear Rhonda Dwight communicating psychically right now. Oh God, we got a hockey guy on here. Son of a gun. Son of a gun. Do we have to?
I grew up in Portland, Oregon, with the Winterhawks.
Oh, so. Yes. The good old Winterhawks. My friend used to coach them.
Yeah. Yep.
So that, hold on. What years were you in Portland?
I was born and raised in Portland. I only moved to Arizona in 2011.
Oh, so you've been following Portland since like the old Cam Neely days.
Yeah.
Huh? Throwback there.
Long time.
Old Davey pulling that one out. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I do. Portland's had some good hockey players in the past.
They've had some good years.
Oh, for sure. And my cousin's flashing me a Golden Knights. This is a guy up until a couple years ago forgot he was Canadian. Forgot him and his wife are Canadian. And all of a sudden Vegas gets an NHL team. And all of a sudden he's like, I'm the greatest hockey fan ever. Yeah. Oh, yes. But I'll tell you, back in those days, let's see, who would have been... hold on. Would that have been Byron Dafoe in goal at one point there? It was Byron Dafoe. He was one of the goalies there, I believe. Because Olaf Kolzig was in 1989. He was in Tri-Cities. Yeah, and Dafoe was in Portland. Yeah. They had a good brawl back then. Very good brawl.
Oh, yeah. They had many good brawls.
Oh, yeah. Let's see who else. Now I'm all interested. Now Dwight's like, oh, great. You got her talking hockey now.
My sister worked the games, so I was younger. But, yeah, I remember lots.
All right. So let's take a look here. Let's see. So your time, you've only been in Arizona 8 years. So let's see. Brendan Morrow. Yes, I remember watching him in junior. Andrew Ference. I remember watching him. Marion Hossa. Let's see who's in the Winterhawks Hall of Fame here. Let's see here. Brendan Morrow. I don't know. Todd Robinson. Andrew Ference. I remember him. Oh, that was short-lived. There we go. Let's see. Sven Bershi. This is only recent. That's as of 2018.
Yeah.
God, they had so many good players over the years. That's terrible.
I know they had a good team in the 80s. That was...
Yeah. So that's what I'm looking for there. That's what I'm looking for is the alumni. Let's see. 25 greatest Portland Winterhawks of all time. Let's see where this goes. Throw some names up here at you. Let's see. Paul Gostad, Brandon Dubinsky, Troy Mick. I know him. He ended up coaching up here in the BC Hockey League. Braden Coburn, Wayne Babbage, great Canuck there.
Oh
yeah,
I think I remember that.
Oh, he had a fantastic mustache back in the day. Fantastic mustache. Oh man,
they all had fantastic mustaches back then.
Oh man, yeah. Babbage though, I mean, his lip blade was like cement. If you fought him, it was like punching cement. If you hit him in the mustache. Oh, yeah. Keith Brown, he was a tough bastard in the NHL. Holy cow, was he tough. Adam Deadmarsh. I remember him. Glenn Wesley. I didn't know he played there in the 80s. Yeah. How is Cam Neely only rated number 7? He's a Hall of Famer. Who's the number 1? Number 1, Ty Ratty? Oh my God, that's terrible. Ty Ratty is nowhere close to Cam Neely. Terrible. Anyways, now I'm pissed off. Now I'm pissed off. We got about 1 minute here before we got to go to back to the show.
Dope. Yeah, I grew up in the farmlands of Ohio, so hockey wasn't really on our radar, but I hear tell through family rumor that someplace I'm related to Bobby Hull. So I don't know.
Well, you got some Canadian in you then.
Someplace down the line, yeah.
Yes. I hear you, my friend. We got about 30 seconds. Hey, big thank you to Michael and Grendel for kicking off the super chat on our YouTube channel tonight. Much love for that. Really appreciate it. Hey, Brian Lang, thank you for coming on out. Really appreciate it. Big Cat, good to have you here. Remember, do a little shopping at our website, spacedoutradio.com. You can join our space travelers for $5 a month and do a little shopping at the SOR Vault. Get your swag today. All right, let's get back to the second half hour of the show.
Radio.com.
Hey, Fap, Grandma Rose wants a mustache. No! Grandma Rose can't have a mustache. She's too nice. All right, here we go. Welcome back to the second half hour of Spaced Out Radio. Tonight, I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. Great to have each and every one of you with us tonight. Want to remind you that if you missed portions of this show or others, you can check out our free archives by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do old Davey the favor, hit that subscribe button. Yeah, our website, spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire and rocking out to Bumblefoot and so much more. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio for the show and my personal handle at Dave Scott SOR. Tonight we're talking all things ghostly. Rhonda and Dwight Hull, psychics, intuitives, communicators with spirits, including animals, and those who have crossed over. Their website, BelieveParanormal.com. You want to check that out, and all their books are on Amazon. Rhonda, Dwight, welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Not a problem. What's it like, Rhonda, to communicate with the dead?
Well, that's kind of a hard question to answer because every spirit is different. Sometimes it's much like talking to a living person. Some are very forthcoming. Some are not. Some give you very little bit of information. Some appear as, what's the word I'm looking for? As real as you and I. Other times it's just in your mind's eye. But when you do it since you're a child, it just becomes normal. It's not scary. So there you have it.
No, absolutely. And I understand that, but not everybody has that ability. So for you going on in, and I realize to you it's now second nature. You've been doing it a long time, but when it comes down to it, is it still surprising for you?
Sometimes, yeah, absolutely. Sometimes I'm surprised. For instance, one of the chapters in one of our books, we were on an investigation talking to Celia Blaylock, a.k.a. Maddie Earth, and we had a great investigation, excuse me, and it went so well, actually, that I invited her to come visit us. If she was free to do that, she was free to come to our house and let us know that she's here. Wanted to really sort of help her make good memories near Tombstone. Her life in Tombstone was pretty not good. So anyways, a couple months went, or no, actually, I think it was later that night, and we got home and we had a code. I told her, if you come visit, I want you to turn on my camera on my cell phone twice in a row. And, there's a series of things you have to do to turn on a camera on a cell phone. When the screen goes dark, you got to tap the screen, swipe it, blah, blah, blah. So we're exhausted. We're home later that night, and I'm outside on our patio talking to Dwight, and all of a sudden my camera comes on. And at first I didn't think anything of it. I'm just like, what? I shut it down and turned around, started talking to Dwight again, and then my camera came on again. And I'm like, what? Oh, wait, Maddie. So, yeah, sometimes it is surprising, but usually in a very good way.
How about for you, Dwight?
Human spirits surprise me. I generally tend to stay with the animals, both living and crossed over. So when I get a connection with a human spirit, it does kind of surprise me. Of course, it doesn't scare me by any stretch, but it surprises me, especially when I'll ask Rhonda, I'm picking up this guy, his name is so-and-so, are you picking up anything? She's like, no. So I know it's, directed at me. So that's kind of surprising that,
He's
that
a really
happens.
good psychic medium. He just doesn't take credit for it.
But it does surprise me on occasion, especially when we're out in the middle of nowhere, literally in the middle of nowhere, looking at an old, farmhouse or a ranch house, and all of a sudden somebody comes to me and starts talking. So sometimes, yeah, it does surprise me.
Interesting. So when you're sitting there communicating with dead animals, all right, what does an animal have to say? How does an animal communicate in English back to you if all it knows is bark, bark, or meow, meow?
Yeah, that's a good question. And I get that a lot. When I talk to an animal spirit, whether it's purposeful, and by purposeful I mean, I have a client come to me saying that they lost a pet, wants to know if I can get in contact with it, or if it's just, accidental where I'm someplace and, a dog or somebody comes up and, I'll start communicating with them. A lot of the pet communication is done through pictures, a series of pictures, or like short, like little videos kind of a thing. Sometimes it's in English, it's telepathic. So, saying it's in English, I don't know, it's not bark, bark or meow, meow. But I can understand them. I know what their intent is. They show me pictures along with it. So,
but rarely do they have voices.
Right. They rarely have, just voices, So, yeah, when I communicate with them, it's generally through pictures, a series of them, a little video, smells or tastes, or, they'll allow me to feel whatever they felt when they were alive. And so that's how I'm able to kind of communicate with them, and then hopefully communicate that to their owners.
Do animals stick around as much as humans do?
Surprisingly, yes, they really do. I find it all the time. We'll go to a house on just a standard investigation, and all of a sudden I'll see a cat, and I'll start communicating with the cat, and I'll ask the homeowner and the client, did you recently lose a cat? And they'll be like, well, yeah, but that was like 3 years ago. I said, well, was he, orange with a white chest, and he had like a little chip out of, like a little notch out of one ear? And they're like, oh my God, yeah, that was, whatever, Fluffy or whatever his name was. And it's like, well, he's still hanging around, and I get that more often than what, people may think.
Very cool. Very cool. Looking at your books, as we kind of shift topics here and get more into the ghostly stuff, you have really prided yourself, Rhonda and Dwight, about trying to bring history forward, especially in the Southwest. Why did you go down this angle, Rhonda?
Well, we have so much history here. You're going to say something? We have so much history here. It's really, a lot of it has been forgotten. We have a lot of little national parks and national forests where we have forts and whatnot, old ghost towns. So you find a lot of history there, and where there's history, there's usually spirit activity. And by bringing it to light, you're sort of opening that up to a whole new audience. Ghosts now it's sort of not a taboo type of subject. So people will often go there for both the ghosts and the history. But either way, they're learning about a history that they may never even known was there. We introduce a lot of friends to history right in our own backyard that locals have never been to. So for us, it's just like rewarding to open people up to the history that's all around us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And considering you're going back to the Wild West days where it was very lawless. It was very violent at times in certain areas and certain towns where bandits kind of ruled the outskirts and the sheriffs tried to keep their best to keep the peace in town. I mean, how far back are we going here for you guys? Do you start in the Wild West? Is that your focus?
Well, that's, a lot of the places that we go, that's our, however, what we have found by doing that, especially in this area around Tombstone, Arizona, we're only 15 minutes from Tombstone. I used to live in Tombstone for many, many years. So we got, I was able to take Rhonda out and show her all around the area. But what we have found when we're investigating a place, especially like a long forgotten cabin or a stage route or something like that, we go there, and this is what's really neat with what we do. We go there expecting to hear from, a cowboy or somebody, from that time period. And then what we end up talking to is, a Native American that lived maybe 1,000 years ago, way before the cowboys, or, several hundred years before the cowboys. And that's what's just amazingly cool to me, is discovering history that you didn't think existed until you went looking for something different.
Yeah, there's layers and layers of history here. So you have, way back Native American history going back thousands of years on top of Spaniards that came here and discovered. And then you have, white settlers that came out here and more Native American clashes, and then recent history. Yeah. Mining, up until recent.
Yeah, it really is truly just a layer upon layer out here, and that's what
you never know who you're going to talk to.
Mm-hmm. Are there certain areas, certain trails that you really like to, focus on because the action is always changing? And the reason why I ask that is right about 3/4 of a mile east of my broadcast center here at SOR headquarters is the original Gold Rush Trail. And I can tell you that trail, you never know who or what you're going to get. You just don't know, because it changes, and the chances of getting the same spirit twice is extremely difficult.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know that I have a favorite. We have a lot of very cool places around here, but I think my new favorite is Fort Bowie, just because there's so much different history there, so many different people. It's just incredible place.
Yeah, and it's kind of like, your Gold Rush Trail. You never know what you're going to get when you go there. You never know who's going to talk to you.
Different happenings along this trail. It was a stagecoach route leading up to the fort, and you have all these different places along the way where history happened. So it's just an incredible place. Absolutely incredible. So hands down my favorite place right now.
So going back to the historic part of it, for a lot of our listeners who may not be familiar with the area, take us on a little bit of a historic ride here on what we're missing out on.
Are we there?
Yes, we got
Hello?
you. We got you.
Okay.
Okay, wow. Okay, I
Yeah,
don't know what
you cut
happened.
out on us there, and I couldn't hear you.
Well, did you get my question?
No, we didn't. It cut
Okay.
out just as you were starting your question.
If you could give us a little bit of a historic tour about what went on back there in history, what makes it so haunted? Because for a lot of us, we've never been in the area. We've only seen it on cowboy movies. We've only seen it on documentaries, but we don't know what it's like to be right in the heart of it all.
You know, it was a very, very rough area. You're talking the desert Southwest. At first, we had a lot of Native Americans here, from hundreds of years ago up until the time the Spanish came in the late 1700s. And then after that was, a lot of, I guess you'd say, prospectors looking for their fortune. And then you get your cowboys after the town sprang up. And after that, you get everything that came after the cowboys. You just kind of follow history.
A lot of settlers from all over the world.
And the Industrial Revolution and everything else, which still happened out here. It's a rough place. It still is, the desert. It's not an easy place to be. Believe me, I've gotten a whole new appreciation for everybody who has been out here, from the American Indians to the settlers to the cowboys. It's a tough place to be. Like I said before, it's layers upon layers upon layers throughout this whole area. Again, we just never know what we're going to get when we go to a place.
I got to ask you, is there a lot of land around there that is allegedly cursed?
Oh, I don't know if I'd use the word cursed. I don't think we've ever really run into that. We've run into, very active areas with, perhaps Native Americans or something like that. But around here, there really isn't any curses, so to speak, or cursed areas. Now, we do have a place very close to us here called Brunkow Cabin, and it's normally, when you read about it, it's pretty big in tombstone history, but when you read about it, they call it still the bloodiest patch of soil in Arizona because there's over 23 unmarked graves in and around that cabin from different people who were shot and killed while either trying to live in the cabin or work around the cabin. So, it's not cursed, but it's known as a very active, very bloody area.
Simply for the mining.
Yeah.
They were mining there and a lot of silver. So, a lot of greed.
That's very intriguing. Very intriguing. And with that, do you get a lot of gold hunters or gold robbers that you've communicated with who are, still keeping their stash hidden?
We've only talked to the one guy, and that was in the Superstition Mountains. What was his name?
Yeah, I can't remember his name. She'll probably come up with it here in a minute. That was up in the Superstition Mountains, closer to Phoenix. We were way back in there, and we picked up on this old.
Went to go talk to a certain group of people.
Ended up talking to this guy who just kind of came out of nowhere, and he was one of those kind of people. He was a prospector at first. He did have gold. He did hide it. People did, try to find it.
People did kill him.
To try it, yeah. So, and the question we get a lot is, have you ever had them tell you where it's at? Well, unfortunately, no. They're just as tight-lipped on the on the other side as they are, when they were alive. So no one's led us to the lost stash or the lost Dutchman's gold. Now, we have talked to the Clantons from Tombstone fame, Ike Clanton and all that. We went out to their ranch and talked to them quite frequently. and they were always known for, getting money and stashing it on the ranch and that kind of thing. And we have asked them point blank, straight out, is there any money to be found around here? And I think we did get an EVP once saying yes. And, we kept, pressing, but they still don't want to give us, any information on where it's at. So, it's, the hunt continues.
Oh, but, yes.
But Clintons are very nice people.
Yeah.
That's so uniquely funny to me, because at our local museum, I do a paranormal tour here to help raise money for it, because it's a non-profit society. And many times we have asked the spirits, can you tell us where your gold is? And it always amazes me, with some humor, how quickly they disappear. We had this one gentleman.
Yes.
We had this one gentleman a few years ago. This gentleman's spirit. He was an American, very young. All right. And he was heading back south. And it was so funny because my friend Dan, who's one of the society members, he's asking all these questions. We had 8 K2 meters in a circle going off at all the same time. 8 of them. All of them at peak at peak red. It was the most unbelievable thing I've ever seen in the paranormal. It was fantastic. And all of a sudden Dan says, "Where's your gold?" Those meters shut off so fast, and that guy was out of there so fast, we couldn't get him back for about 20 minutes. About 20 minutes later, we finally got him back, and he's like, "Don't ask me about my gold."
Yeah.
Right.
Like, they're still hot to try. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure from where you are, right up to where I am, and right up north to Alaska, imagine how much gold is still buried out there from these guys who didn't want it robbed.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I always tell Dwight, one of these days when we're out and kicking around in the desert, we're going to come upon somebody's stash. Maybe.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Like, somewhere in my community, there's a rumor that there's $3 million in gold buried somewhere. And they believe that it's buried like 10 feet below the highway. And you can't really dig under the highway because it's, government property.
Right.
But that's where they believe, through the coordinates and the legends and everything and the stories, that's where they believe it all was. And, but these guys, it is so funny that you guys, you're 2,000 miles away from me, that you guys are getting the exact same reaction that I'm getting up here in central British Columbia.
Yeah. They don't want to tell you where
they don't want to say a thing. And what I want to know, with all this buried treasure around, why is it always a 12-year-old kid looking for his Frisbee someplace and kicks over a rock and there's a can of gold? We've been all through this desert. I haven't found a single coin. And it's always some little kid trying to dig for a garden that finds this stuff.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. The kids are going to find it. They're always going to find it.
Yeah.
But that's okay. They have that pure innocence about them for the most of them.
Absolutely.
Or it's reincarnation and they're being greedy.
Well, that's true.
Very true. Hey, Rhonda, Dwight, I want to get you guys to hold on here because we're going to go to break here at the top of the hour. I want to give a shout out to my other cousin, Carter, and his buddies watching in California. Remember, Carter, no matter what your parents say, you are Canadian. You are 100% Canadian. But I still love you, kiddo. And thank you for tuning on in. And I hope you have a wonderful time in California. You're doing well there. And let's get to our guests, Rhonda and Dwight Hull. They are ghost hunters down in Arizona. We're going to get into some of the history of all the ghost hunters and the ghost hunting that they do. Their website, BelieveParanormal.com. That's B like a buzzing bee for Believe, Paranormal.com. Hour 2 of Spaced Out Radio coming up right after this. All right. There we go. 1 hour down. Just like that. Yeah. Gone. Boof. Poof. Goodbye.
Yeah.
See ya. Quick.
Wow.
Quick. Yeah.
Right, quick.
Hour 2, I'm going to get into some stories here with you guys because I want to hear some stories from you guys. But I'm going to just quickly take a couple minutes. I'm going to put the commercials on for the YouTube channel, and I'm going to just quickly run out and take my dogs outside, and I'll be right back. Okay.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right.
And woo! So tune us in at spacedoutradio.com starting at 9:06 Pacific, 12:06 a.m. Eastern, where we can all get a little spooky together.
Spaced Out Saturday nights right here at spacedoutradio.com.
Hi, this is Amber Beckrud, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel where we store all of the SOR show archives for free. And as an added bonus, every 2 weeks I'm posting brand new content on Cryptid Tales, where I will get into some of the spookier legends and folklore from around the world and tell the stories that go with them. Find us at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio and check out Cryptid Tales today. Drop a comment and let me know what you want to hear. See you there.
For the price of 1 cup of coffee a month, you can become an SOR Space Traveler. The Space Travelers Club is a place where you can interact with other listeners, either live during the show or on our great forum. We want your stories, pictures, comments, and ideas. You'll get live video streams, exclusive content, and be a part of our newsletter. Stay in touch with everything SOR. The Space Travelers Club is just $5 a month at spacedoutradio.com.
Get your horns up with me on Spaced Out Radio. This is Ron Bumblefoot Thal. Come tune in to SOR where you can hear me rock out with Little Brother is Watching, the official theme song of Spaced Out Radio. And then come on over to bumblefoot.com where you can find out about my tour schedule, my music, and everything else. Bumblefoot.com keeps you up to date on what I'm doing and the best way to stay in touch with my music and music camps. Sign up for my newsletter at bumblefoot.com and remember, Little Brother is watching.
We are scouring the world for the most intriguing stories of your day. Take the time to read up on the SOR Newswire, where our team, led by Captain Shirk, will deliver to you some of the best paranormal and supernatural news, along with some stories that will blow your mind from the weird to the wacky. It's the news outside the news that piques interest, and that's what we're looking to deliver to you. The SOR Newswire, only at spacedoutradio.com.
Looking for creative ways to get your company out in the public? How about advertising on Spaced Out Radio? Our sales department is waiting to hear from you, and we can work around any budget. From commercial spots to banners to special promotions, there are many opportunities to get your name and product out to our SOR listeners. For a price guide and more information, please contact us at sales@spacedoutradio.com.
Hi there, this is the paranormal lawyer Michael W. Hall. I'd like to invite you to listen in each Sunday night where we're going to open up your eyes to everything strange and paranormal. I will be hosting some great guests with topics that affect us all, such as UFOs, ghosts, and everything paranormal. Let's learn together on Spaced Out Radio Sunday with myself, Michael W. Hall, the paranormal lawyer at spacedoutradio.com.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
I'm feeling a little spicy tonight. What to do?
Why not get Bumblefuck?
4 million Scoville units of pure hard rock.
How we all doing?
Hot sauce is coming 3
All right,
flavors.
let's shut these commercials off there. There we go. We got some seriously cool stuff happening tonight. How you doing, Rhonda and Dwight?
Doing well. Doing very well.
You guys having fun?
Oh, yeah.
They are.
Yeah, this is great.
Wonderful. All right, so let's see where we are here, people-wise. Got to get an update, because we always get a big jump for hour 2 here. That's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. All right. So we got about 2.5 minutes here before we got to go back to break or come out of the break, pardon me. And hey, Devin, how you doing? Hold on a second here. I'm going to mess with my cousin here for a second. Oh, that's a good one. Because I know my cousin is watching in Vegas right now. We're just going to do this for him. Hold on a second here. I know he's going to get a good laugh at this. Where are we here? Ah, there we are. There we are. There you go, cuz. There you go, right there, buddy. That's what my cousin looks like these days. He used to look so good until all of a sudden, he decided that he wanted to look like his hero, Bob Vila. Yeah, I don't know what the hell happened to him. Don't know. And his beautiful wife, Lisa, is just so awesome, too. I don't know how she puts up with, his Bob Vila fetish. Oh, you should see the text messages I'm getting right now. That's hilarious. We got about 45 seconds here before we go. Oh, I'm being called some pretty bad names right now. Pretty bad names right now. That's pretty awesome. Oh, yeah. Yes. All right. I want to say a big thank you to Michael and Grendel for hopping in on the super chat already tonight. And thank you to my family who's tuning on in. I love you guys so much and I miss you guys. I will get down to Vegas very, very soon. I promise. I do promise, and we will hang out, and we will pig out on crab legs. And, don't forget, our website, spacedoutradio.com, and you can join our Space Travelers Club for $5 a month, as well as, do a little shopping at the SOR Vault. Get yourself a T-shirt. Here we go with hour number 2.
Radio show.
Welcome back to the second hour of Spaced Out Radio. Tonight, I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's give a shout out to everybody listening in on our terrestrial affiliates across the continent and on the digital side on TalkStream Live and Revolution Radio. Remember, you can check out all of our archives for free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. Labiomancy. Labiomancy is your password. Use it wisely, Space Travelers, as the Clam sets the password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. As well, follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio for the show, and my personal handle at Dave Scott SOR. Tonight, we are taking a trip back in time, looking at the spirits of the old Southwest. Down in Arizona, we have ghost hunters Rhonda Hull and her husband Dwight. They've been doing this a long time. They're a great team. They're intuitive. It's all about the feel. It's all about getting the sense of what is going on rather than using the equipment that is out there to try and prove or disprove whether or not the spirits are actually real. Let's go back in time now. Welcome back, Rhonda and Dwight.
Good to be back.
Good to be back.
Good to be back.
Well, we're glad you're here too, because if you weren't, this would be one strange conversation going on right now.
It would be, yeah.
Yes. I got to ask you, you have investigated so many different locations across the Southwest. And right before the break, we were talking about how violent that era and that territory was. Do you have a favorite location, Dwight, that has really, really touched you on the paranormal side?
Wow. There are so many really just amazing places down here. If I had to pick a favorite, I guess I'd have to say, the Clanton Ranch, where Ike Clanton and all the cowboys from the Tombstone days used to gather. It's not that far from us. And, we've talked to Ike Clanton's, we believe his father, Newman Clanton, who lived down here. And, in the movies and everything else, and this is why it's my favorite place. In the movies that you see about Tombstone and everything, the cowboys and the Clantons are always these really nasty bad guys and everything else. I got to tell you, whenever we go to the Clanton Ranch, we are very cordially welcome. They always give us EVPs and speak to us very nicely. They're never, harsh or, what you'd see in the movies is, these mean, cowboys, that kind of thing. And I think it's my favorite because of that, because we're able to talk to these people and really find out who they really were, not who they were portrayed as. And for me, that's the part of history that I just love digging into down here, is so many myths about the Old West because of movies and books and that kind of thing. But when you really dig into it, and, we like to say we investigate history through the voices of those who lived it. If you want the true story, talk to the people who lived it. And that's what we try to do. We're not always successful, obviously, but when we are, it's just such an amazing rush. And, the Clanton Ranch for me is that place where I can get that amazing rush talking to these guys from, history through fame and everything else of the movies, but you're talking to the real people. And that's what makes probably the Clanton Ranch, that much better for me.
What are they communicating to you? What is the story or the words that they're trying to get out?
I think, kind of in a nutshell, and I'm taking several years of investigations into, one lump here, but I think in a nutshell, they're trying to convey, again, what they were really like, that they weren't these people that, people come there all the time, these other paranormal investigators, and, they use provocation and, you guys are terrible. And there's no, just stop. We go there, and what they're trying to get through to us is probably the real story, the real feeling of what they were going through or went through or whatever. The first time we found that ranch, and we kind of missed it by a long shot, we're going through the desert, we got all cut up by the mesquite bushes that are out here. They're very long thorns, very sharp. And, my arms were bleeding. And, by the time we finally found this place, we were tired. It was hot. So we turned on the recorder, and Rhonda just started calling out names of some of the cowboys, Curly Bill, Ike, all these people, is anybody here? And we get this old man's voice that we figure is probably old man Clanton, Newman Clanton. And a very gentle southern voice says, over here, long way, really bad brush sting. And I was just floored when I heard that EVP.
It was clear as a bell. I mean, Class A EVP.
It was just amazing. And I was like, brush sting? What the heck is brush sting? So we actually had to Google it, and we found out it was an Old West term for being cut up by the mesquite. So we thought, wow, I mean, he was really there. He really saw us.
He was noticing what we had just went through.
And he was very welcoming, over here, basically calling us, hey, come over here. He knew we came a long way, and he knew we had really bad brush sting. So that's, just an amazing
Very nice. We've always had
very
good,
nice people.
Good conversations with him.
I have a couple questions coming from our audience, if you don't mind.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
All right. Let's start off with, where shall we go? Oh, let's go to the Revolution Radio chat room here. Eagle Flower is asking, why do certain spirits prefer to stay in this realm? Are they filled with a job unfinished?
The best way for me to answer that is each spirit is different. We have run into some of that where they feel that their job is unfinished. We have run into people who just loved the area, loved being there when they were alive, so that's where they wanted to stay after they passed. As far as the job unfinished thing, we've met when in one of our books there's a story about a little girl that we call the angel of the camp. Because she, back when she was alive, back in the 1800s, she would help all the sick people or the injured miners at the hospital. And she's still there trying to help, whoever she can. I don't know if it's a job unfinished, but it's a job apparently that she really loves. So she's still, trying to do that there.
Gave her purpose.
Yeah. And, we run into that on occasion. But most of the time, to answer the question, we just love it here, and we just wanted to be here, and that's why they're there.
How many of those spirits, because maybe they were so angry on the human side of everything, are sticking around because they're afraid on what actually meets them on the other side of the veil?
We've run into a few of those. One time we were investigating an old jail that's no longer functioning, but it was a jail, and the spirit that we came into contact with, he wasn't a prisoner there. We don't really know why he was there. I mean, the jail was, people would get arrested to go there back in the day because it was cement and it was cooler than their living quarters. But he was afraid of the afterlife. He had done some things, whatever those things were, he was afraid of judgment. And so we helped him, we believed we helped him sort of move into the light, and there was someone there to greet him. So there was two spirits there. And he crossed over. And another time we were investigating, it's a theater now in Tombstone, but it used to be a mercantile back in the day. And we had a large group of people at one of our events. We really didn't plan on investigating. It was their, investigation. We got kind of called into it because they got an EVP of a murder. And we ended up crossing over a spirit who murdered his brother in the mercantile. Allegedly, and that was the story. And it was so emotional that when he crossed, the moment that he crossed, about 40 people in the room, including a film crew, started bawling. And I don't mean, lightly crying. I mean, everybody was snot-nosed bawling. It was visceral. You could feel it. But that's only happened a few times, but it's super emotional when it happens.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's move on to another question. This one from the Revolution Radio chat room as well, from Reg, who is asking if you guys have had the opportunity to investigate or learn about the Superstition Mountains.
Yeah, we have. We've been up there a few times, actually, in different areas. We've been up to 96 Ranch up there in the Superstitions. We've been just kind of walking through what they call the massacre grounds, where a large
Mexican
massacre happened, where the Indians massacred a lot of Mexican miners. So we've been up there several times. again, we have not contacted the Lost Dutchman nor his gold. We have tried many times, but that hasn't happened. It's a very, very neat place. It's very active with spirit activity, mostly Native American. But it's an amazing place, and if anybody has the opportunity to do it, I definitely suggest you go and do so.
For the people around us, and myself included on that list, what is the Superstition Mountains, and what's the history behind it?
Well, the Superstition Mountains is a very large mountain range up by Phoenix, Arizona, Phoenix Mesa, Apache Junction. Yeah. It's a very large mountain range. The history behind it, basically, the reason it's, the superstitions and the reason people go there is it was very populated, I guess you'd say, with miners and gold seekers and silver seekers, back in the day. It was a very, very dangerous, raucous, shoot people on sight kind of a place back then. So it did gain, a reputation and still continues to do so, with people going up there and disappearing, either, with no trace at all or found many years later just in a place where they shouldn't have been.
A lot of people go looking for the Lost Dutchman gold and never come back.
Yeah.
In the certain times of the year, a fog will cover the top of the superstitions. Lots of plane wrecks, not seeing the top of the mountains. It's a very superstitious place, if you will.
A lot of high strangeness, because that area, if I know correctly, there's a lot of UFO sightings around there too.
There is. We've had a UFO.
We've actually had a UFO experience there ourselves. Yeah.
Oh, tell us that.
You tell it better than I do. I'm long-winded.
Well, we were up there actually trying to do an investigation for a weekend, and we were with a friend of ours, Dan Baldwin, who co-authored the book with us. And we had just got done eating, and we decided to take just a little bit of a stroll, not too far from this house, but up into the, by the mountains.
By Red Mountain.
By Red Mountain. And it was in the evening. And we were just kind of walking around talking, really not paying attention to much of anything. And I just happened, a light up in the sky above Red Mountain just happened to catch my eye, and it was moving, in a manner that it just, I was like, and I asked them, I said, what the hell is that? And we all looked up there, and sure enough, this light, this orb, I guess you'd say, was morphing, not flashing, but morphing from yellow to red and then to yellow to red. And it kind of came almost right above us. And we were like, oh boy, what do we do now? And Dan took out his flashlight and started, clicking a pattern of light at this UFO or at this light. We didn't know what it was really.
Well, it was an unidentified flying object, so.
In theory, yeah. And, when he got done flashing that light, all of a sudden this thing takes off backwards or whatever words it was going, but it took off at just an unbelievable speed. And it was gone within literally a second, 2 seconds. And if you've ever been down here, well, of course, up there where you're at, there's a lot of sky. You can see things for a long distance. And this thing shot out of sight in just a matter of a second to a second and a half.
Now, right behind us also, we should mention, is like the plane highway, wherever all the planes come in to land at Sky Harbor. So you can see like this highway of planes. So you know that this thing in the opposite direction, it's not moving like a plane, a helicopter, or anything. So we have no explanation as to what it was.
All right. This also ties into Cat Chaser's question on our YouTube chat. Do you ever pick up anything from Area 51 or other secret places that you can't explain?
Wow. I have been probably closer than what most people get to Area 51. when I was in the military.
Air Force.
When I was in the Air Force, and that was one of our things we had to do was try to break into Area 51, believe it or not, to see how good we were, which, by the way, we didn't get anywhere. We got stopped pretty quick. As far as picking anything up from those areas and secret places like Dulce and Area 51, it's a weird thing because I get a real weird sensation when I'm there, or if we're talking about it, or if we're watching it on TV. But I really honestly can't place what that sensation is. It's just as psychics, it's just a very odd sensation, and I don't want to, immediately throw it into the realm of aliens, but it's a feeling that's, lack of a better term, alien to me. So
I definitely think there's a strange energy, not just because of the secretiveness and all of that. I think that whole area, there's a different energy, if you will.
Do you think it's because of your abilities going into these secret places, Dwight, that maybe your own abilities are being blocked? That's very possible. I put nothing past anything. I'm pretty wide-eyed and open for anything. And with the feeling that I get that I don't get anyplace else, that is, a very real possibility that, that is something that, is just being blocked or is scrambled or whatever you want to say. I would love the opportunity to, go to someplace like that and really have the time to sit down and concentrate to see if I could break through and maybe try to pick up on some, or if it just keeps getting scrambled. It would be an interesting, that'd be an interesting investigation. Manuel is asking, as we got about 2.5 minutes here before we got to go to break at the bottom of the hour, what is the scariest experience you have encountered to date?
Wow, scary. I guess I'd have to say, scary. I don't get scared very easily, but the most, scary is many years ago when I was in Ohio. I was investigating a farmhouse. I'll try to make this quick because I know we're out of limit time here, but I went into the farmhouse. I had all the family go to a back room so I could investigate. Walked into the kitchen. There was an old guy at the sink washing his hands. And I told him, I said, sir, I said, when you're done, I said, if you wouldn't mind, if you can go back with the rest of your family so I can, kind of do a sweep of the house here and look at everything. And he just shook his head, didn't say anything. And he finished washing his hands and turned and walked into what we call a mudroom or a laundry area, which is right off the kitchen. And I was like, great, now I have to chase this guy down. So I walked into the laundry area, which was not a big room, no windows, no doors, and he was gone. And he was just as real as any living person when I was talking to him. And he just flat vanished when he went into that room. That shook me up a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Well, at least he was following the rules of COVID-19 and washing his hands before he moved on. I mean, you don't want to.
He did.
That's. I've seen that happen. I know many others in our chat rooms and our listeners have had that type of experience. I mean, that's one of those situations you could never prepare for, Dwight.
No. And, when we come back for the next part of the show, maybe we'll tell you about the time that we went through what we figure is a time slip. And that really kind of scared us.
Oh, yeah. We got to do that. Yeah, those ones bug me. Those ones bug me. Time slips coming up here on Spaced Out Radio as we continue an all paranormal night with the husband and wife team of Rhonda and Dwight Hull. They've got a beautiful website called BelieveParanormal.com. That's BeelieveParanormal.com. Just, check it on out. They got a couple of books too that they've co-written with Dan Baldwin. Speaking with the Spirits of the Old Southwest and Conversations with Spirits of the Southwest. You can find them on Amazon. More Spaced Out Radio coming up right after this. It's a good show so far. Good show.
I'm enjoying it. I hope we're not too long-winded.
Oh, no, you guys are being perfect. You're perfect. I love those old stories, man. Love those old stories. That's what it's all about. Hey, Bomber, how you doing, man? How you doing? Oh, yeah. Shanna Banana, she's already like, time slip. Tell us more. Oh, not right now. Not right now. We all got to wait patiently for this.
It's an amazing story. I'll say that.
I can't wait.
It was an amazing experience.
Yeah, it was an amazing experience, and I'm still scratching my head.
Oh, son of a bitch. Now I'm pumped up for it. Now I am pumped up for it. Mm-hmm.
It is. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Got a little bit of an itchy ear here. There we go. There we be. Now I'm doing good. Mm-hmm. Let's see here. We've got a few minutes left. Yes, okay. We're getting thumbs up on the good show so far. The audience is liking it. Good.
Oh, good.
Yes.
I worry about getting too long-winded and putting them to sleep, but hopefully everybody's enjoying it.
No. We're in good company. We're in good company. All right. We have a couple of questions that we ask every guest here. All right. Every guest. So we're going to get to those right now. Number one, what's your thoughts on eating breakfast for dinner?
Love it.
Love it.
Absolutely love it.
All right. My minority keeps going down. I thought you were good people, Rhonda and Dwight. Thought you were good people, level-headed. Thought we were getting someplace. Then you drop we eat breakfast for dinner all the time. Screw you, Dave. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I see where this is going. I totally see.
Does it help if it's mixed with chicken?
No. Like Marty on Twitter tonight was talking. What did Marty say? He goes, "Hey, Dave, last week my wife made a great baked ham dinner. Tonight we had the last of that ham with eggs, potatoes, and toast for dinner. It was great." Oh. You people who eat breakfast for dinner.
Often.
Oh, just terrible. Terrible. All right, the next question. When it comes to Devil's Tower in Wyoming, all right, are you on Team Stump or are you on Team Rock?
Ooh, that's a good question. Wow, that's a very good question because it could be some ancient stump from a huge tree, but
I'm on Team Stone, Team Rock.
I'm going to have to go stump on that one.
All right, Dwight. We got Dwight, everyone. We got Dwight on our team. Don't forget, everyone, you can go to our website, spacedoutradio.com, go on the SOR Vault, and pick up your Team Stump t-shirt today. Literally, they are there.
Oh, my God.
I will have to pick one up.
Oh, yes. All about Team Stump, everybody. All about Team Stump, which is good. All right. Let's see. We've got about 2.5 minutes here. 2.5 minutes.
Okay.
Oh, yes. Everybody's all excited that you went Team Stump now, Dwight. Everybody's excited. Bomber's here. I do breakfast for dinner, Dave. Yeah.
Would it redeem me any more if I said I could have breakfast at the stump? Probably not. Okay.
Eva's like, I'm on team. Take me to the river. Let's go to the river, Eva. At least there's no sharks in the river. So I don't do the ocean.
Oh, no, I don't do the ocean.
No.
I will look at it from the beach. I will not step in it.
Yes.
I grew up on the ocean, so.
Yep. No.
That's why I joined the Air Force, not the Navy.
Everything wants to kill you in the ocean. There's not one thing in the ocean that does not want to kill you.
That is true.
Everything wants to kill you in the desert, too.
Oh, and in the forest here.
Yeah, that's true, too.
The forest here, too. Oh, Bomber says, no, I do dinner for breakfast. See, that's all right. You can do dinner for breakfast. That's okay. You just can't do breakfast for dinner. Don't like that. Don't understand people. We got about 40 seconds left. 40 seconds.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Joe says, I'm a geologist, and I'm on Team Stump. Yeah, but you got aliens, too.
Okay.
Joe doesn't like to admit he's got aliens. He's got some aliens. Doesn't like to admit it, but yeah, he's got some aliens. Hey, big thank you to Michael and Grendel for hopping on in and starting off the super chat tonight. Remember, you can get your Team Stump t-shirts at the SOR Vault on our website. And don't forget to join the Space Travelers Club for $5 a month. Here we go with the second half of the show coming up in what do you say? 8 seconds or something. Let's listen to the thunder. Ooh, listen to that scariness. Listen to that scariness. Okay, here we go. Music's on. Hi, red-headed Lisa. We passed the halfway point of Spaced Out Radio tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. Thank you so much for joining us. We want to remind you that if you missed portions of this show or others, you can check out our free archives by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire and rocking out to Bumblefoot each and every night. I do. Why not? Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio, and my personal handle at Dave Scott SOR, if you didn't mind, because that would be kind of cool. We want 10,000 followers. We're like almost 7,000 on Twitter right now, and just over 7,600 on YouTube. I want 10,000. I want 10,000 just because I want that 5 figures. I want to say I'm a 5-figure guy. I'm a 1 comma guy. 1 comma guy. Anyways, let's talk some paranormal. Rhonda and Dwight Hull are here. Their website, BelieveParanormal.com. Ghost hunters in the Southwest. And we're going to take a little bit of let's hop on the woo train here for a little bit, because Dwight has an interesting story that he's about to share with us about having a time slip. Oh, I love these. Love these. Dwight, Rhonda, welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you. Good to be back.
Fill us in. Don't hold that back anymore, man. We got to hear this time slip story. Oh, yeah. We got to hear it. We got to hear it.
Okay. Well, we were investigating a town which is north of Tucson. It's kind of between Tucson and Phoenix. There's a lot of desert out there, and we were literally in the middle of nowhere. There was a small mining town out there. So we were out there investigating that, myself, Rhonda, and our friend Dan. And we were walking down a road. We had just walked basically out of town, more into the desert, and there's some hills and such there. So Dan told us, he said, look, I've been out here before. I'm going to go to the top of this hill, and it wasn't a very big hill. He said, I'm going to go to the top of this hill because I think there's some old petroglyphs up here, but I'm not sure. But let me go up first and check it out, and then I'll come back down and let you know if they're here or not. We're like, hey, sounds great to us. We'll just look around for some rocks or whatever. And so he went up the hill, and we saw him get to the top of the hill, and he kind of crested it and just walked down a little bit and disappeared. And we were like, okay, well, we'll come back anytime now. And we waited, and we didn't see or hear Dan. we're like, okay, he might have fallen because he was older than us, and we thought, out here you could slip and fall on some of this rock, and he could be hurt. I said, let's go up there and try to find him. So we went up to the top of this hill, which we could see the whole valley from the top of this hill, and we could not find Dan at all. And there's not a lot of scrub in this desert, so it's not like he could hide behind anything. We were like, oh, crap. We thought for sure that he fell and got wedged in a rock or something, so we went all around this hill looking for any sign of him. Did not see him.
The cars.
We could see the cars parked about, maybe 400 yards away, maybe 100 yards, 300 yards. No Dan there. We were like, crap. So Rhonda was getting really kind of hot because it was in the middle of summer. I said, why don't you walk back to the cars? I'll stay here, continue to search in case he comes back for some reason. I said, and then if I meet up with him, we'll come back. She said, okay. Well, before she left, I was yelling at the top of my lungs for Dan, and you could hear it echoing, okay? Nothing, no reply. Okay, so she walks back to the car, and it's not that far down this little dirt road. She walks, she just got out of my sight, and I was like, okay, I have got to find Dan, and I'm kind of looking around, and I turned to my right, and literally there's Dan about maybe 20 feet from me. And I looked at him, I said, where'd you come from? He said, where'd you come from? He said, I've been looking all over the place for you. I said, we've been looking for you too. I said, I was yelling for you. He said, I didn't hear a thing.
I was yelling for you too.
Yeah, and it was like, okay, really? I said, Dan, level with me. Come on, where were you hiding? He said, I wasn't. He said, I went back to the cars. And he pointed down the road because we could see the cars. He said, I went back to the truck. He said, and I was beeping my horn so you could hear me and just come there. I said, Dan, we didn't hear a thing. I said, where did you come from? He said, I just walked from the truck up the road here and saw you. I said, Rhonda just walked down that road. I said, when did you see her? He said, I didn't see her. I said, come on. He said, I didn't. This road is, I don't know, 6 feet wide with nothing in the desert. I mean, you can't hide somebody out there. You cannot walk past somebody without you seeing them. And it was, I don't even know how to explain it. So we walked down the road towards the cars. Rhonda had just gotten in the car. She said, where'd you guys come from? I said, well, Dan was right there by the road after you walked down. She said, where'd he come from? I said, he came from the car. She said, I didn't see him. I just walked there. And it was just like a total, mind blown.
One of us went into a time slip, either him or us.
And I have to think us because he went to the truck and interacted with the truck and everything else.
Right, honked and everything. And
we heard nothing. Everything was just dead quiet out there.
Like everything looked the same. So like we were like 5 minutes apart or in a different time. I don't know what happened. It was bizarre.
And so we started talking to Dan, like a couple days later because this was really bothering us.
No, it was longer than that.
And we started, kind of comparing notes, so to speak. And he told us the exact route he took when he walked down that mountain. And it was right where we were the whole way. There's no way he could have been there or we could have been there and we wouldn't have seen each other. It was just, to this day, it's a head scratcher as to what happened. Now, he claims he didn't feel anything different. We didn't feel anything different, but it was just an unbelievable sense of, what the heck,
But it wasn't until about, a year and a half after that, it was for a chapter in our second book. Was it the second book? Okay. And it was about a year and a half later, and I was kind of skimming through the chapter, and I get to the end, and no wonder. We asked the spirit that we had just communicated with if she could show us what it was like to be dead. So I don't know if that's what happened, but it was a strange coincidence.
Were there any other people around?
No, not a soul.
Not a soul.
So it's just you three there?
Yes.
Correct.
Were your clocks synchronized? Either on your phones or watches or in your vehicles?
You know, had we thought about it at the time, that would have been a great thing to do. We did not. We were just so blown away by what do you mean you were just right there.
It's kind of like, why didn't you take a video of that UFO that you just saw?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't think about it at the time. We were so wrapped up in it that we didn't think about because that was the last thing that we would have thought happened.
My cell phone battery drained, though. I mean, that's why I was going back to the car, was to charge my phone in case we needed to, call somebody, not 911, but call somebody.
I mean, this is right out of a book of David Paulides and his Missing 411 series.
Exactly.
It was bizarre.
It was just bizarre. And I still, when I think about it, it kind of not frightened me, but it just kind of jolts me a little bit thinking, what if we didn't come back out of this time slip or Dan didn't come out of this time slip? One of us would have had some splaining to do because you just disappear in the desert. It doesn't happen.
Have you ever reported this to David Paulides?
No.
I think you should. Because his cases with the Missing 411 are identical to this, except people just don't come back. Or they rarely do.
It was bizarre. We might have to look that up.
He told a story. He told a story on this show of a little 2-year-old girl who, I believe this was in Saskatchewan or Manitoba, here in Canada, and she went missing. And there was a thunderstorm, and literally all the townsfolk came out to look for her. And she, when they went into this one cabin, this old ransacked house that was abandoned, and there was nobody there. Then this thunderstorm came in, and I'm paraphrasing the story here to keep it short. And somebody decided to check that old rundown farmhouse again, and here was the child naked playing in the bathtub. And,
oh my gosh!
Wow. And so when they asked the little girl where she was, she pointed up on the hill. Well, they had set campfires on every hill, and if you see Saskatchewan, Saskatchewan's flatter than a piece of drywall. And they have these little bumps that they call hills, and they set up bonfires on each one so everybody could see where each other were. And this little girl said that she was up on one of those and then was carried down into the house and put there during the thunderstorm when she was found.
Wow.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Wow.
Amazing. I would highly suggest talking to David Paulides about this because, like you said, either you guys went for a ride somewhere or your buddy did. One of the two.
Right.
Yep.
Right. And we don't know which, but one of us, went, and it was scary, and it was, not at the time because we didn't realize what happened. We were still trying to figure all this out. And like I say, when it, we were talking about it and getting, comparing notes, basically, it was like, holy crap, what happened? And, I think it was either Rhonda or I said it had to be a time slip or we went into another dimension or something, because you can't pass somebody on a 6-foot dirt road and not notice them. I mean, it just doesn't happen.
Well, and even in the desert, beside it, it's all the rare bushes that are out there are like 2 feet tall. You can't hide a grown person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well,
do that.
Considering, Rhonda, you would have had to walk by this gentleman.
Yes, and I didn't. Well, I did, apparently, but we must have been in different dimensions.
That is just so weird.
I don't even know.
That is just so weird. How are you guys feeling during this? Like, here's what I imagine, and I'm sure many of the audience imagine right now. you probably didn't have a lot of time to actually think of anything because of the fear of your friend missing, and vice versa for him.
Yep.
Exactly.
So looking,
we were,
yeah. So looking at
Go
the
ahead.
time, or your watch, or anything that we would normally profess to do, like you mentioned, cameras and UFOs, that's not even on your mind. You're just trying to figure out what the heck happened to your buddy. And in the meantime, he's running to his car, honking the horn. So why do you
trying to find out?
Yeah, let me ask you this. Why do you find or think, Dwight, that it was you and Rhonda who had this time slip?
And it's only a guess, and I say that because, Dan, went to his car, he interacted with his car. So, as far as, and I don't know, I don't profess to be an expert on time slip or interdimensional travel, but since the fact that he interacted with his truck, got in it, beat the horn, that kind of a thing, tells me he was still on whatever plane that truck was on, assuming that the truck didn't go into a time slip as well. I mean, like I say, I'm not an expert. We were just in the desert. We were not interacting with anything other than the desert. So that's the only reason that I say that maybe we went into the time slip.
And that desert hasn't changed in probably several hundred years.
Yeah. So that's the only reason I say that Dan probably stayed in the now, and we went elsewhere for, probably 30 minutes.
What do your spirit guides say?
I don't know.
My spirit guides aren't talking. I know it sounds funny, but they were not even in the picture during any of this.
No.
And
I didn't think to, spirit, my Archangel Michael, what do you think? No, that was not even on my mind. You're in a panic. You're trying to find the person that you came there with.
No. And I understand that, but have you tried talking to your spirit guides now about it? Just to see what they would say?
No, I haven't.
No, we haven't. That really honestly never even crossed our mind, to be honest with you.
We're trying to think of logical, outside the paranormal.
Well,
logical reasons.
Look, you can't experience that much woo, okay, and look for logic at the same time. It's impossible.
I know, but we still try to be, factual and, trying to find the logical reason before we jump to. But I know there's no logical with that. So
I get that. And you didn't feel any different, and neither did your friend.
No, not a bit.
Hot and exhausted. No.
Yeah, that's what really was kind of disturbing is, there wasn't any visual difference. I mean, the sky still looked the same. The desert looked the same.
There wasn't any tingling or any kind of
there wasn't any different feeling
physical
at all.
Feeling.
It was just exact. I mean, and he said the same thing because we asked him that same question. Did you feel funny? Did you feel dizzy? Did you feel any tingling? And it was, no, I was just looking for you guys. I was afraid something happened to you guys.
Was there any scars, any marks, any aliens around?
No, darn it.
No, not even any aliens. That really ticked me off.
But it is an ancient native site.
Yeah, it's an ancient ceremonial site we found out later.
Right near there was a terrace garden, so there had to be a village nearby, and these were the Hohokam Indians. So, I don't know. Maybe we can find a living ancestor or descendant and ask him if there's some magic woo-woo over there.
How long ago did this happen again?
About 2 years.
2017 or 18.
Yeah, about 2 years ago, roughly.
And this one hasn't sent you off the deep end?
No, actually we went out there not too long ago trying to find the road that we went down. But It was.
Well, this is another caveat to the story. We went out there again, and we went out there several times before this happened, so we know the area very, very well. We went back out there not long ago to try to find the road that we walked down
with friends, and we could not find that road. We found the general area, but we could not find that road. We followed the road for a while, and it did not go to the mountain.
Yeah.
So I don't know where we were.
Oh, this just keeps getting stranger.
Yeah. Even more weirder, right?
It just keeps getting stranger. And no, we haven't lost our minds, but it's something that every once in a while we'll sit here and talk about and think about and say, what happened? Because we still don't know.
And we have like 6 friends out there. We're trying to show them this place that we could try to recreate, right? We couldn't even find the road. I swear to God, this is the road. It was right here. I don't know where it went.
That is so strange. What's the energy like in that area?
Well, I feel like it's a good energy.
It is a good energy, but it's very tactile. I mean, for us, when we go in there, we can actually feel it around us as far as the human energy and the energy of just the area.
Now, this area was underwater, 40,000 years ago or something? That's a long time ago, but we have actually found fossilized shells in the same area. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it. I don't know. Just throwing it out there.
Yeah. We're open to any theories out there because we're certainly still scratching our head.
Yeah, I would get in touch with David Politis about this because this is what he deals with.
I wrote his name down. So.
Yeah, this is what he deals with on a daily basis. canammissing.org is the website. canammissing.org.
Okay.
Yeah, I would seriously, because there may be cases of people who've gone missing in that exact area that he may know about.
Oh, that's true. That would be a good thing to compare notes on.
Yeah, he'd be a good resource.
Yeah.
So here's the screwed up thing. If you found your friend on the timeline and you guys were the one who disappeared, where was your friend on the previous timeline or the new timeline that you went on if his car was there?
Right. That's exactly. That's something that we've tossed about many times. Where on this, this time slip was that? I don't know.
Oh, I love stuff like this.
There's just so many unanswered questions, and for your listeners out there, we have gone back to try to recreate it in an area that we know very well, but we cannot find that exact location, which is really bizarre because I am highly trained for the military, search and rescue. I know how to read terrain and everything else, and I cannot find that exact spot.
It was so frustrating.
Were you even there?
Well, that's a good question.
That's a good question.
I don't know. I mean, yeah. Who knows?
Maybe you were taken by aliens and they just showed you that picture. I don't know.
Yeah, and the weird part is, after all three of us had talked about it over the course of time, Dan, I remember Dan telling me one time, he said, and those petroglyphs should have been on the top of that hill. He said, I've been up here before.
Oh, he had been there several times.
Yeah.
Oh, that just gets weirder.
There was nothing up there.
That just gets weirder.
That's another, yeah.
It's like that mountain, either the road or the mountain or both.
Disappeared?
Come in and out of time. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I don't know.
Oh, I would be going right down to the map store to see if that mountain still exists on a map. Rhonda, Dwight, hold on. We're going to Finish up hour 2 here of Spaced Out Radio. We have Rhonda and Dwight Hull here on Spaced Out Radio. BelieveParanormal.com is their website. You can find their books on Amazon. We got them till the bottom of the hour before we join up with Drex in Vancouver in hour number 3. Oh, God, I love that story. I totally love that story.
I hope I made sense, because it's so hard to tell that, because there's so many unknowns in there, but it was just a bizarre experience.
Go check a map. All right.
Yeah, I've looked at Google Maps. Yeah.
Yeah, we've looked at Google Maps and
it's there.
It's there.
It's there.
Oh, wow. I'm going to be right back here, guys. I'm just going to put some commercials on. I just got to run my dogs out. I'll be right back.
No problem.
Hey everyone, I'm John Edwards.
And I'm Stacey Edwards. Together we're taking over Saturday nights on Spaced Out Radio, where we're going to bring our own experiences of the paranormal and talk to the best people we can find to help bring you answers to your strange tales.
We're here to entertain your need for weekend woo! So tune us in at spacedoutradio.com starting at 9:06 Pacific, 12:06 a.m. Eastern, where we can all get a little spooky together.
Spaced Out Saturday nights right here at spacedoutradio.com.
We all know on Spaced Out Radio we love a good beard and mustache, so why not take care of your facial hair with Mighty Moose Beard Oil? Made in Canada, we're taking care of beards and stashes around the world. We use 100% natural ingredients with our oils and balms to make your whiskers feel silky smooth. Use promo code SOR2019 at mightymoosebeard.com today.
We are scouring the world for the most intriguing stories of your day. Take the time to read up on the SOR Newswire, where our team, led by Captain Shirk, will deliver to you some of the best paranormal and supernatural news, along with some stories that will blow your mind from the weird to the wacky. It's the news outside the news that piques interest, and that's what we're looking to deliver to you. The SOR Newswire, only at spacedoutradio.com.
Hey, space travelers, this is John Resig, founder of the Chive and Chive Charities. If you know anything about our website, you know we like to do things a little differently. We're not some faceless organization collecting money for a nebulous cause. Our donor dollars go directly toward life-improving items. Then we give those items directly to an underdog who needs it most. To become a donor with Spaced Out Radio's official charity, Chive Charities, just go to chivecharities.org/donate.
The party is always on at the Moose Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is where you want to be when visiting Canada's West Coast. Open until 2 a.m. nightly, the Moose cranks up the rock while serving some of the best rated food in the city. The menu starts at $6.95. Why party anywhere else in Vancouver when the Moose is right there? Get your horns up and rock with the Moose, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Hello, Space Travelers. It's me again, Carl. Don't forget to join the Space Travelers Club for just $5 a month and follow Spaced Out Radio on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio. Our Instagram, Dave Scott SOR. Our Facebook page is Spaced Out Radio Show. Our archives are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Come woo it up with Spaced Out Radio today. Bye.
For the price of 1 cup of coffee a month, you can become an SOR Space Traveler. The Space Travelers Club is a place where you can interact with other listeners, either live during the show or on our great forum. We want your stories, pictures, comments, and ideas. You'll get live video streams, exclusive content, and be a part of our newsletter. Stay in touch with everything SOR. The Space Travelers Club is just $5 a month at spacedoutradio.com.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thal, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
Looking for creative ways to get your company out in the public? How about advertising on Spaced Out Radio? Our sales department is waiting to hear from you, and we can work
All
around
right,
any budget.
I am back.
From commercial spot.
I am back.
All righty.
Doug went upstairs, Fap. Doug went upstairs. Yeah, my dog Doug usually sometimes will come in during the studio, and Doug has a gas problem, and they all like it when he literally shits his pants or shits his fur, and then makes me pay the price with some horrible faces. Oh.
Yeah, you have two dogs, correct?
Yep, Doug and Shadow.
Okay.
And we just added a cat named Puss.
Oh.
Yeah.
Both your dogs are older, correct?
Yeah, they're 9 and 10 years old.
Okay. Shadow. Does Shadow have a back hip problem?
Yes.
Kind of walks slow?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Through talking to you, I'm able to pick up on your pets, so that's why I'm asking.
Perfect. Tell me more.
Because Doug does have digestive issues.
Doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, he does have digestive issues.
Don't we all?
Well, yeah, but he's got, and it's nothing I would rush him in for by any stretch, but he's showing me he's got and has had an ulcer for a long time.
Interesting. Interesting.
Which is interesting. Yeah. But your other one, Shadow, definitely some hip issues, and telling me that it's the back hips are painful, and when very slow getting up is what showing me. A lot of times if it hurts him, he gets really very stiff, very slow getting up. He can't just spring up anymore. Is what he's telling me.
Nah, but he's just so happy. He is.
Both
of them are so happy. All right, guys, hold on here because we're going to get going here.
Would you like to connect?
I'll have to check in with you guys about that.
For all
here we go.
Show info. Now back to Dave Scott and SOR.
Third and final hour of Spaced Out Radio is underway tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott. Thank you so much for joining us. We welcome back everyone listening in on our terrestrial affiliates across North America and on the digital side on TalkStream Live and Revolution Radio. Remember, you can check out all of our archives for free by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. Labiomancy. Labiomancy is your password. Use it wisely, Space Travelers, as the Clam sets the password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Our website is spacedoutradio.com. We have a plethora of features for you, including Rocking Out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio for the show, and my personal handle at Dave Scott SOR. For the final time tonight, we introduce our guests. They're pretty awesome. Rhonda and Dwight Hull. They are paranormal investigators out of Arizona, and they specialize in animal communication and learning about the ghosts and the hauntings of the wild, wild west. Their website is BelieveParanormal.com. Go on their website. You can check out their books, which can be found on Amazon. Rhonda, Dwight, welcome back.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome. You're very, very welcome. All right. I want to hear some ghost stories here. You're in the Wild West.
Okay.
You're riding around. Do any of the horses that these guys were riding or wrangling, ever come up and talk to you and just say, hey, this was one wild ride, man?
Nothing like that, but, I have encountered, spirit horses in places where there's been battles with the Apaches and with the soldiers at Fort Huachuca here. This whole desert out this way was just, Apache battleground. So, yeah, every once in a while, if we go out, I'll encounter, a spirit of a horse, kind of show me a little bit of the battle. So I guess that kind of falls in what you were asking. Yeah. Not in so many words, but they kind of show me the battles and, basically who that horse belonged to and, how they died and that kind of a thing. It doesn't happen all the time, but, on a rare occasion.
Interesting. Well, one of the things that area had was a lot of battles. It was cowboys versus the bad guys. It was with the First Nations and the big battles with them and the Spanish and everybody like that. What kind of spirits come to you the most, or does it depend on the area?
Depends on the area, for sure. Absolutely. If we're in just an old ghost town, you never know it. You might get just some townfolk person. You might get a miner. It could be anybody. If we're at a fort, it could be, again, a Native American or military or people who work there. So, like, contractors would be today, only just normal folks.
Yeah, we've run into, Irish, German, of course, Native American, just about, everybody from overseas, any kind of nationality overseas. They all came here at some point to either try to seek their fortune or to work or whatever.
In the military.
Or in the military.
Right.
So it's a grab bag when you go out in this desert as to who you're going to talk to.
We just went to one of my favorite forts not too long ago. We went with a couple of friends, and we went to the cemetery there to try to talk to somebody who had won the Medal of Honor from back in the 1870s. And so we were sitting near his grave, and Dwight had not really drank enough water from where we parked all the way up this trail. And so he started to get dizzy. I had just sat down, and he almost fell over on me. He was really lightheaded and dizzy. And we had the recorders running, and later when we reviewed it, we were, expecting to get maybe the voice of this soldier. No, we got a Native American in Mescalero Apache saying, you need to go to water. Clear as a bell.
Can you hear the battlegrounds?
So they look out for you.
Can you hear the battlegrounds?
Yeah, these are.
At that place, yes, I did. That was it was called the Battle of Apache Pass. I actually talked to a soldier who was involved in that battle. I was not expecting this at all. I went there specifically just to talk to the Native Americans, or try to. And then this soldier came through. I not only spoke to this soldier, I got his first and last name, which Rhonda later, when we got home, researched it and found him, who was there at that time.
He saw the cord on his hat.
Yeah, the color of his
so we
cord.
knew.
So he was artillery.
Right, we knew where he belonged in the military.
Yeah, I mean, I saw him very, very clearly. He even told me that the sign that was there that said the Battle of Apache Pass happened here, he said, no, it happened this way, and he kept pointing the other way. So I was like, okay, and we went back and researched again
I found
later.
An article written by,
And it was exactly where the spirit told me it was, not where the sign was. It was just an amazing, amazing experience when you can, again, you reach out to history and it talks to you. History talks to you. The men talk to you, and you hear it firsthand from them. It's just absolutely amazing.
You know, almost hear the gunfire and the cannon. It becomes very real, like you are time traveling.
Outside of asking for gold, have any of these spirits ever shown you or led you to any sort of artifacts to prove their point?
Short answer, yes. A lot of the places we go, I feel led, not verbally, they don't speak to me, but I just kind of feel, you know, lack of a better term, the energy leading me somewhere to a specific area off the path or off the beaten path, so to speak. And yes, I will find, you know, different artifacts from that time period. So yes, that does happen. And it's very interesting and amazing to me that I have to think that they brought me there to see that artifact or to touch that artifact for a purpose.
And then to talk about it.
And to talk about it and to hold that artifact thinking that, you know, the last person that held this was possibly the person who told me it was here. So it's, you know, again, a mind-blowing kind of a thing.
What was that artifact?
Well, there's been several. Bullet shell casings from the rifles, pieces of, it's off the cord of a Spanish commander who was out at a Spanish fort out here by us from 1776.
A little metal piece.
Yeah.
They're still used today in like the Royal Military. But this is from 1776.
Yeah, I found it there. He brought me there and showed it to me, and I looked down and picked it up, and I was like, what is this? I didn't know what it was, and we got home, and we both sat down, and we were researching, and Rhonda found it. It was the sterling silver cap on the end of a braided, you know, decoration on the Spanish commander's uniform, and I found it.
That is unbelievable. That is, when you get that kind of confirmation, it's got to feel pretty darn good knowing that you're in tune with whatever is being talked about.
You know, it is absolutely amazing. There is no greater thrill for me to speak to somebody and to interact with somebody from the past and have him, again, tell us history or show us history through his eyes or through his words. And I know for a lot of your listeners that may sound, you know, kind of far out or stretching, but it really does happen. And there's no better feeling than to get that. So, you know, again, and I have to kind of blanket this statement with, when you go out ghost hunting, don't think of it as just thrill-seeking to talk to a ghost. These are people. You have to treat them correctly, and they will treat you correctly. And you can find out so much incredible stuff if you just allow it to happen.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Rhonda and Dwight Hull are our guests tonight on Spaced Out Radio. Finding artifacts that you have been pointed in that direction by the spirits is a very, very cool gesture for confirmation for what you are wanting to accomplish. With these spirits that are there who fought so many battles back in their living days, have you ever had a lot of those spirits just come back to you and say, hey, you know, I'm done here. I just want to go. I'm tired of fighting, and you know, my war is over. It's time for me to leave. And do you send them on their way?
You know, really haven't run into that as much as in a few different areas that we went to where there's, you know, confrontation between either, you know, Indians and military or settlers and the Indians or whatever. one thing we did find extremely interesting in several of these places, we talked to these people, and we've even got EVPs to back this up. We asked if they're still fighting on the other side, if there's still that anger, if there's still that, hatred or whatever. And every single time we get, no, we're actually friends. We're working together. We enjoy being together now. And that really, and this has happened on several different occasions. And that really gives me a lot of hope for, when we do, as individuals, cross over, that all this hatred that we feel or, towards people or towards a person or whatever, at least in our case, it seems like that falls away when you cross over. And to me, that's an amazing thing to know before you do.
It is kind of amazing as you go through that, but I'm surprised that some of them just continue to want to stay on the battlefield. And trust me, I understand the brotherhood. You don't want to leave your friends behind. I do get that. We hear soldiers of today that their biggest regret was, whether it was, World War II, Korea, Vietnam, the Gulf Wars, or the Middle East. You don't want to leave your friends behind. You want to make sure that they get home safe, just like you did. And I can understand why they would want to stay on a battlefield, but you've never come across a soldier or anybody who has been in an armed conflict over there who just said, "Look, I'm done. Like, just get me out of here. Send me to the light."
No, honestly, no. And we've talked to many, many soldiers and Apache warriors, and that really has not ever come up. Not that it won't at some point, and that's the other thing we try to tell people, we don't know it all, that's for sure. We haven't experienced it all. So hopefully maybe, we'll run into, something like that where we can maybe help that individual to, get off that battlefield that they're stuck on or whatever, and hopefully, bring him some peace. But right now, as we speak, we have not yet anyway run into that.
Interesting. We always hear when it comes to battlefields about men and the gallantry and the violence that was brought upon in these battlefield type areas. But there's always the other side too, the women, the children that are kind of stuck in between, whether they're waiting for their loved ones to come home or whether they're caught in the midst of a battlefield because it's happening right in their town. How many women and children do you deal with in that area on the spiritual side?
We have had that happen on occasion. One, since we're talking about Fort Bowie, we did run into that, but interestingly, not an American soldier's wife. It was a Native American woman that we talked to who lost her son during the battle, and she's still there because they hastily buried this individual just kind of on the hill slope. Children we have run into on occasion, not on the battlefields, of course, but who have lost people on battlefields or during wars. And
children helping adults in cemeteries. Children were much more, they suffered a lot, back then. It was a whole different time, but they were also they had such responsibility, I guess is the word.
And, make no mistake, it's when we run into something like this, it's heart-wrenching. It really, really is. And it affects us on a very deep level. The whole ride home from that area, we get home, we talk about it, and it stays with us and it affects us. But that's what, kind of happens when you do this type of work is you don't always run into the happy ones. You run into the ones that, are not so happy, but still don't want to leave.
How much of those battlefields contains the remnants of huge battles between the Americans and the Spanish coming out of Mexico?
We have run into several of them. I'm trying to think of his name. Pancho Villa came over, and there was a lot of battles down this way between, his troops and the American troops. There's a lot of battlefields down here like that, and we do run into that on occasion too, depending again what area we're in. A lot of the Spanish or the Mexican and the American, or the Spanish and the Apaches, or the Americans and the Apaches. This is a very turbulent area down here, which is, why we stay so busy, I guess you'd say, because there's always a place to go down here.
With those type of hauntings that are happening, and the desert being arid, I mean, a lot of people, whether they're mob hits or wherever, they tend to, come into bad areas around deserted places. Have you ever come across somebody of this, say, the last 50, 60 years where they've asked you for help in the desert because they've gone through a very traumatizing time which led to their death?
The closest thing I can relay to that is we were on our way walking to a ghost town.
A railroad track.
Yeah. We were on our way walking to a ghost town that we frequent quite often. It's a town called Charleston. That was very much in play during the Tombstone heyday. And to get there, we have to walk down an abandoned railroad track. So we just got there. We got up on the railroad track. We started walking down, and you can see, railroad tracks, you can see a long way down the railroad tracks. We were talking with each other, and we look up, and here's this kid, early 20s, walking towards us, and he just all of a sudden he was there, kind of a thing. We look down and look up, and there he is walking towards us. And what was interesting to us immediately was that he wasn't dressed to be hiking. He was in Docker pants, a polo shirt. This is the desert. This was summertime, and he wasn't sweating. He wasn't carrying water.
No backpack.
No backpack. But when he passed us, the only thing he said to us was, "Make sure you stay hydrated." We're like, "Yep, no problem. We got our water." And literally about 2 seconds later, it dawned on me that I could not hear his footsteps on the cinders of the railroad bed. We turned around and looked. He was not there. Not there at all. And we were like, okay, that was weird. And the reason I brought that story up is later we got home and Rhonda researched it out, found him.
He was 15.
Yeah.
Tall.
He was just a tall kid, but he had passed away not there, but close to there in a car accident, modern times, only, a few years ago.
But that was one of his favorite locations that he was an athlete in high school, and that was one of his favorite locations to run, basically.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So we actually got hold of we actually found his sister who lived around here, and we told her all about it, and she told us a lot of things about him. And it was a very emotionally good thing for the sister to know that
he was still he was a very caring guy, always looked out for people, so still doing it in the afterlife.
So
wonderful.
Once again, we were able to help out somebody. So that was a good experience that we had.
Rhonda, Dwight, I hate to say this, but it's time for us to say goodnight on this portion of the show. You were absolutely amazing. Time flew right on by. We definitely have to stay in touch and do this again.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having us on. We had a great time, and we would love to come back anytime.
Oh, we'd love that. We would absolutely love that. You hold on, because I just have to take this out to commercial here. let's remember, Dwight and Rhonda Hull, their website is BelieveParanormal.com. Find their books on Amazon. Coming up next, we're going to join up with Drex in Vancouver, go over some UFO and strange news as we simulcast right across Canada next on Spaced Out Radio. I am so tired. I apologize for that. Oh my gosh. You guys were amazing. Thank you so much. And
thanks for having us on.
Oh yeah. I would love to do this again.
We got a lot more stories, so whenever you'd like, we're available. And thank you so much. We had a great time.
Absolutely, and thank you so much for taking the time to join us. And that was just amazing. And yeah, I'd like to talk to you privately about my dogs.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
All right, everybody in YouTube, make sure you give them a big clap as we send Rhonda and Dwight on their way. Big clap for a great show tonight. So when you go, if you watch the YouTube side of it on our YouTube channel, make sure you hit subscribe, by the way. You'll see when you guys sign off, all of them will start clapping. All of them will start clapping for you. Yeah, there we go.
Thank you.
Now they're all clapping. All right. Much love, guys. Thank you. Be safe. Have fun in your ghost adventures. And we'll definitely get Corey to stay in touch with you.
Okay, that'd be great. Thank you so much.
Good.
Absolutely. Wonderful. Good night, guys.
Good night.
Wonderful people. Good job, Corrance. That's a great booking. Let's hear it for Corrance, the booking guy. Absolutely. Good job, Corrance. That's good. They were a lot of fun. Took them a while to warm up and get things going, but once they did, oh my God, that time slip story. How fantastic was that? How fantastic was that? That was a great story. All right, I got to get a couple of news stories here because I don't know how long we're going to be going with Drex tonight. So we're going to just prepare for this. And we'll close that out. Probably going to mute that. Block again. Make sure that's... Hey, how you doing?
Hey, Dave, this is Matt from The Shift. How are you doing tonight?
Good, brother. How you doing?
Doing good. I'm not interrupting your show or anything.
No, we're on break right now, and I'm just chatting with my YouTube people. So you can say hi to them. They can hear you.
Okay, excellent. Okay, hey, YouTube people. Just making sure everything's all set up for our doing it live tonight. It's been quite a while since we've done it live together.
I know, totally right.
Yeah, but I've definitely missed having you on over the past few weeks. It's a pleasure to hear you again.
Oh man, it's good. How's Super Bob doing?
Super Bob's doing great. He's been broadcasting from his home in Surrey for the past couple of months.
Yeah.
So I haven't seen him in person, but yeah, he's doing good.
You know, when
he just had a week off. So.
You know when he used to cover the Canucks, he actually used to wear a cape into the dressing room. Did you know that?
Got it. Sorry, Drex was talking to me. What was that last part?
Bob used to, when he covered the Canucks, he used to wear a cape in the Canucks dressing room. He totally did.
Oh my goodness!
I don't know.
Really?
I don't know if you and Drex know that, but I swear I saw it.
Is there photographic evidence?
Well, cell phones were just starting to come out with cameras at that point, and half of us didn't even know how to use them.
Interesting.
I know.
All right. Well. Yeah, in the meantime, so we're about 2 minutes away, and Drex just asked, we have to be out by 51:40.
Okay, that's perfect.
Excellent. All right. So I'll hold you on the line, and we'll be with you in a couple minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. Sounds good, Dave.
All right.
All right. Hold tight.
Or stole faster than anyone. Buster's Towing.
Well, there we go.
8181.
There we go.
Chances are, when you hear ironworkers, you
our
think
YouTube side will hear
Memorial
this.
Second Narrows Bridge.
But-
For more than 100 years, ironworkers have employed men and women, including indigenous people and minorities, training them, offering apprenticeships, and fair wages that benefit community and young workers, who in turn provide for their families and benefit BC's growth. Find out how you can bring your passion for construction to infrastructure
All right,
projects
so
that keep
what we're
birds
doing
from
here,
moving.
YouTubers,
Become a paid apprentice or
is we are going to be joining our good friend Drex in Vancouver, who broadcasts straight across Canada.
Everything our bodies need.
And we're going to do a little hit on UFOs and some stories in regards to, the weird and strange. Now, normally I record these with him before we do this show at night.
And listen in.
And then we used to do them live, but then he kind of changed up the program a little bit, and he wanted to record them and put them in there. So he may be hard to hear for some of you, but we'll try and get it through. We'll try and get it through.
Struggling with reading, writing, math, or organization. Check out the Rise at Home program from the Learning Disability Society, a charitable organization that offers subsidized, one-on-one, customized education based on your child's specific needs. Learn more at ldsociety.ca. To enroll your child today, email register at
Are they launching tonight or tomorrow during the day?
This is Canada's all-night conversation.
Here we go, everyone.
With Drex.
All right, let's go straight away to the studios of Spacetown Radio. Scott from Spacetown Radio, welcome back to the shift live across Canada on the Chorus Radio Network. How are you, sir?
Hey, Drex, how you doing, my friend? It's always good to chat with you right here on Spaced Out Radio, because we love to get into the weird and strange, and I know you like it too, along with your audience.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And I know one thing that I've noticed about you every time we chat. There's something that is I know that you're a fan of one particular thing that happened many, many, many years ago.
Absolutely.
And maybe I know most of your listeners probably have a pretty familiar sort of situation with the Falcon Lake UFO incident all these years ago. But for our listeners, tell them what happened this week 53 years ago.
Well, on May 19th, 53 years ago, a gentleman by the name of Stefan Michalak was deciding that he was going to be going to look for some prospecting, looking for little nuggets and agates and stones out on one of the riverbanks and lake banks of Falcon Lake in Manitoba. And as he's walking across, he sees this thing that is sitting on the ground. And it's metallic, it's round. He immediately starts thinking that this is something that could be very, very much military. And he walks up to it because there's stairs going down and there's a door that's open. And he starts checking it out.
Yeah.
And he sees something move in the shadows. And he can't quite figure out what it is as he puts his head inside. And he never went inside, but this is one of the best documented UFO cases back in 1967. Now, the interesting part about this on a political side was that Paul Hellyer, who now admits that UFOs are real and that Canadians and Americans have been in contact with extraterrestrials, was the defense minister of Canada as this incident happened. So Stan is, checking out this craft. And literally, all of a sudden, he starts hearing this noise. It starts literally winding up. This disc, the classic flying saucer look that we see, literally starts to blow some exhaust and raise up. And the next thing you know, he is thrown right back onto the rocks and onto the bank of the lake. his clothes are burnt, and literally, like, they are burnt on his body, and he's got these weird marks all over his chest. Like, his chest looks like a checkerboard or a bingo card where they've got these burnt in dots, and these dots would go away, but after a while they would come back again. He was in hospital. He was treated for these burns on his chest that, you know, basically raised into sores in a grid-like pattern. Nobody could figure out what the heck actually happened. So the fact that this story has been told so many times, you know, he recalls seeing the object. He recalls seeing a secondary object that was hovering about 45 meters away from this first one that was on the ground. I mean, this story is part of Canadian history. Last year, in 2018, everybody was inundated in the UFO community when the Canadian Mint actually made a special coin of the Stefan Mikulik case.
Right.
And that sold out. Yeah, go ahead.
Here's the thing I wanted to add to that, right? Is if you've got a country's mint doing a commemorative coin to indicate that this incident happened, it's almost like an admission that, yeah, this thing is real. This did happen. Yeah, of course it did.
Absolutely it did.
Right? Like if a government was trying to cover something up, they would never let anything like that happen. But clearly, this happened, and because it's such a strange story, isn't it?
Absolutely. And the funny part about it is that coin sold for $120, $20 value, by the way. It's now selling on eBay for about $2,000. You can make money off of that one.
Wow.
Yeah.
How many? Do you know how many were struck?
I believe there was 1,000 that were struck, and it took them a week. And then earlier last year, when the Canadian Mint came out with the Shag Harbor UFO incident, that one sold out in like 36 hours.
Yeah, people just love that sort of stuff. The folks into ufology, they're like collectors of anything. You know, if there's someone that likes classic cars and they can get their hands on a rare release little keychain or something like that, of course they're going to collect something like that, right?
Absolutely. I mean, why wouldn't you? The funny part about it is, Drex, is when these coins came out, the Canadian Mint stated that this was part of Canada's heritage. Little did I know that UFOs are part of our heritage. When I think of Canadian heritage, I think hockey, I think moose, I think donuts, I think beavers, I think, snow, igloos, whatever outside. I don't think UFOs. I mean, you're Australian. When you think of Canada, are you thinking UFOs?
No, I think of sweet-smelling forests.
Yes, exactly. But apparently, according to the Canadian Mint in 2018 and 2019, that UFOs are part of Canadian heritage. As interesting as that is. But
and I think they are. Well, I think we're becoming more and more comfortable with the fact that UFOs are an actual thing, even though the American government now has changed them to unidentified, unidentified aerial phenomena.
Yes, horrible.
All right, so let me ask you about this. I wanted to ask you about the 2019 the TESA, the Experience Support Association, and their report case studies. Now,
Absolutely.
They report on UFO cases, hauntings, a whole bunch of other strange things as well. Did you have some chance to dig through their report and find anything weird for us?
Did I ever? And I got to give credit to Ryan Stacy. TESA stands for the Experiencer Support Association. Ryan Stacy, who's a good friend of Spaced Out Radios, he's based just outside of Toronto. The only issue that I have with the guy is, I mean, he's in his mid-30s and he's looked like he's only shaved about once in his life. But, good guy, solid researcher. And he started this group after leaving MUFON Canada a couple of years ago and decided that he wanted to really focus in on recording and reporting the strange sightings that Canadians were having. And in 2019, he had around 69 reports that come right across the country from British Columbia all the way to Newfoundland. And some of these reports are absolutely incredible. And so I'm going to read a couple of these for you because Ryan really went into detail with these. And people who want to learn more about this can go to tessacan.org. So that's TESACAN.org. So here's one on astral projection that somebody reported. The report is, I had practiced meditation daily, same time, same music with the alarm to indicate that it was time to return. It started like any other one of my meditations. Next thing I remember, I was moving around various places of the planet's surface. This was nothing new to me. It actually happened a lot. I would be swimming in the ocean with whales, dolphins, sharks, or flying or running in various places with animals. And it goes on. Anyway, when I hit the top of Mount Everest, I leapt off and I was floating in space. I was looking down on the planet. It was in so many respects. Then I turned and I was flying past other planets. Jupiter moving faster and faster. I was outside the system, picking up more speed. The next time I stopped, I was looking back on the Milky Way spiral galaxy. Now, this could be some amazing drugs. Amazing drugs. Or it could be what they call astral travel, when somebody actually leaves their body and can travel anywhere they want to go just because they have the mental capability and the meditation and the consciousness to leave their body and just let their soul fly. What do you think?
Yeah, I've heard stories about this stuff before. It's fascinating, isn't it?
Absolutely. Here's one about aerial phenomena, because I know you love the UAP thing. This person writes,
I know, I hate it. I hate the name. It's a UFO. It's a UFO.
It is. It is. You know, we gotta put out. You know what, Drex? We got to do this. We have to put out a petition to ban the acronym UAP in Canada. Let's just call it UFO. So much more fun. Let's do that.
All right, you start the change.org and I'll retweet it. We'll see what happens.
All right, let's go here.
I think it'll pick up steam. Go.
This person writes, I wanted a picture of a barren cold runways. I held my cell phone against the window of the terminal to avoid any reflection and took a photo. I took a selfie after, but due to the focus of the phone, the sky isn't visible behind me. After I got home to Vancouver, I looked at the photo and noticed an odd oval-shaped cloud in the center right. I zoomed in to see what appeared to be a disc-shaped cloud, such as altocumulus lenticularis cloud formation. But they usually only go over hills, mountains, or very tall man-made structures. Out of all the photos of these clouds from the ground I could locate, not one of them shows up on top of the formation such as mine. In my photo, the formation is tilting towards me, so I see the top of the disc shape. This was pretty decent altitude and over flat prairie. It was cold in a clear morning, ground temperature about minus 39 degrees Celsius. 2 contrails are visible in the foreground and appear much closer. So did this person capture a UFO from the sky flying home to Vancouver? Who knows? The prairies have some strange stuff going on there.
Yeah. Man, you know what? I've got a couple of friends that have told me that they've seen UFOs. I've never seen anything in the sky. I've seen shooting stars and things that sort of look strange in the sky that I'm like, well, what is it? Maybe that is it. Maybe I have seen one and I just don't know it. But when I hear how people describe things, I'm like, well, what else could it be?
That I don't know. That I don't know. I got 2 quick ones here for you, my friend.
Yeah.
2 quick ones.
Yeah, all right, go.
Little freaky. Shadow figures. I was in bed, just went to sleep. I had just finished watching Sonny and Cher on television. Oh my God, this is an old story. I was drifting off to sleep. I turned over. I opened my eyes. And the wider they got, the more I saw a figure standing in front of me alongside my bed. Looking down on me, I went into cold sweats. I wanted to get out of bed, but I couldn't. I felt held down even though I wasn't touched. I stood up on the bed. The entity put its arms out with his hands open and pushed towards me. Immediately after I was pushed to the corner of the room where I was held, he dragged me across the wall. I was screaming and kicking. There's a name reacted. redacted, pardon me, and then laid me on my back. He never touched me during this experience. I was shoved against the headboard and held there. I felt cold pain in the back of my head, into my spine, throughout my body. It pulled its hands back and the pressure and pain went away. Next thing I remember was waking up and going to work feeling refreshed as if I had 8 hours of sleep.
What? That is bizarre.
Oh, yeah.
That is a strange run. Oh, my goodness. All right, final one.
Final one.
Here we go.
Alien abduction. I remember as a child at age 3, I used to live in a certain area. It's been redacted. In a large field in the back of our home, I remember seeing a sphere moving to the left. It at first looked like the sun. It started moving closer to me. As it did, the color changed from orange to having a black outline around it. It had lights going around it. When it came down closer to me, it was like a metallic bronze color with a reflective, smooth surface. I had only seen this as a child during night. I remember them coming into my room. I could always feel when they were coming. The wall where they came from would turn black like there was no wall there. I remember how my room felt cooler as well. They had a small mouth, are 3.5 feet tall and gray in color. They had no hair, large black eyes, flat nose, and 4 fingers. I am awake at this time standing up. They would paralyze me and lift me up and float me out of the room the same way they came in. There's nights I would have nightmares and intrusive memories about this. Sometimes I would hear thumping and banging and scratching on the walls before I see them. I still have these experiences today.
Wow. All right, if people want to read more of these, what's the website they can go to again?
Tessacan.org, and you can hit up Ryan Stacy there. He's a great guy, and do me a favor, bug him about his lack of shaving ability.
Yeah, we will. Absolutely,
Good.
we will. Go to Dave's website as well, spacedoutradio.com. Dave Scott from Spaced Out Radio.
Thank you,
on
my
with
friend.
us again. Dave, thanks so much again, and we'll chat again next week.
Take care. Let's get to the news on our part.
Yeah, there you go. That is...
That was fun. That was a lot of fun. Do-do-do-do-do-do. The news is always changing, which is why we bring you the SOR Newswire, the back end of every show where we get to the weird, the strange, the wacky, and sometimes messed right up. We only got time for one story before we got to get to the thought of the Dave. Let's go with Florida man, because it's always just clutch, isn't it? Florida man was charged with kidnapping and false imprisonment after forcing a 17-year-old girl to drive him and another woman through a COVID-19 checkpoint, police said. I am relieved this suspect is currently sitting in jail and the young victim in this case was not seriously hurt, Monroe County Sheriff Rick Ramsey said in a statement. Authorities alleged the incident started on the morning of May 21st when Alexander Michael Sardinas and his 43-year-old lover attempted to enter the Florida Keys in a rideshare taxi without identification. The Florida Keys have been closed to visitors since the virus outbreak. The closure is enforced with a checkpoint. Police said the 2 Florida Key residents were turned away. A short time later, a Florida highway patrolman said he spotted the 2 in an argument half a mile from the checkpoint and gave them a courtesy ride to nearby Florida City. The 2 then allegedly went to a Publix shopping parking lot, and yeah, this is where they basically told the young lady to drive them to the Florida Keys. And if she refused or touched her cell phone, she would be in trouble. Police said the victim then drove to the checkpoint, showed her license with the Florida Keys address. Detective said she did not say anything to the deputies because she was so scared. The victim dropped off Sardinias at a gas station, the female at a pharmacy, and then called a family member who called police. They found the 2 in their different locations. They were arrested. The girl was unhurt. And that is the good news. And Florida man didn't get to see much of the Keys. Thought of the Dave happens every night at this time, where we ask for a question on our Facebook and Twitter pages, then read your responses on the air because we love the audience participation around here. Today's Thought of the Dave is as follows. Now, where is it here? Let's go here. Let's go here. There it is. What do you think ghosts are? Jack. I think they're probably mixed. Some might be other dimensional beings, some souls, some weird psychic echoes, and who knows what else. John. I don't think anyone really knows. I'm assuming they're the energy that encompasses our being until we die, and then the energy moves on. Kelly. By the way, Marty, great clown tonight. Fantastic clown. Kelly. Electro energy created by absent nucleic proton sensor with gynophiliated thoughts and response. Philitated, that is. Sound scientific enough? Sure. English next time, please. Joe. Some kind of energy that's left behind, possibly? Kelly. I think that ghosts, souls, whatever it is makes you you. He says it's an energy that just goes on after your body wears out. Jake. People with unfinished business that don't know they are dead, loved ones watching over us. I was once told by a Bible thumper that they are the devil taking from a form of loved ones to trick us. Gail. Don't know, don't want to know. If it doesn't have skin, I do not want to see it. That's why she loves her reptilians. Barry. The neural inductive resonance link between living people and their local environment. This linkage, if coupled to the right individual, can play back previously stored information in a 3D manner. The past information still exists, and the future's information already exists. Time is but an illusion. Gabe. Human souls. Duh, Dave. Renee. Ghosts I could feel can be anything from human and animal spirits to non-human spirits, such as interdimensional beings, for example. Ghosts can also be a replay of a deceased person's life, known as a residual haunting. Jeremy. Dead people who don't want to go through the white tunnel. And final word tonight goes to Cable Guy Matt. Hey, Cable Guy Matt. Dead people. That's what ghosts are. Dead people. Just bang! There it is. Boom. Cable Guy Matt, dead people, and we are done. Thank you for everybody participating in the Thought of the Dave on Twitter and Facebook today. We will do it all again tomorrow. And thank you to Captain Shirk for putting together a wonderful and talented Florida man story for the SOR Newswire. And we say thank you to Drake for bringing us on right across Canada on the shift, as well as to our guests tonight, Rhonda and Dwight Hull, the ghost hunters from Arizona and animal communicators. I can't wait to have them back on. That was a lot of fun. We got Mr. Ron Bumblefoot Thal rocking in the background with Little Brother is Watching. Bumblefoot is the official music of Spaced Out Radio, rocking us in and out of every single show. Get your horns up for the guitar god himself. Special thanks to everybody listening in at home, in your cars, at work, wherever you may be. Thank you to everybody participating in our chat rooms tonight. Packed House at YouTube, Revolution Radio, Facebook, the Space Travelers Club on our website, Spreaker, LGAB, and, of course, to all the snarkers and snarkettes on Twitter at hashtag Spaced Out Radio. Your snark was absolutely beautiful tonight. Remember, this show is copyright by Spaced Out Radio and SOR Media Ventures Limited. Thank you so much for sharing your evening with us, because together, my friends, we're watching. We own the night. Mr. Bumblefoot, we need a favor. We need you to take us home. Thank you very much for tuning in tonight. Remember, the Woo Train is always ready to ride. Your ticket never expires. Your seat is always available. So get ready. We're going to do it all again very, very soon. We expect you to join us. Good night. That's a good show, everybody. Fantastic show. Give yourselves a round of applause for that one. Good job, people. Good job. That's very good listening tonight. Very solid listening. Very solid listening. You guys did very well. Very well. Let's give yourself another clap. Yes. Yes. Very happy with that. I'm very happy with that one. That one felt good. That one felt real good. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we did well there, people. We had a good show tonight. I know I say that every night, but we've been on such a roll lately. Like, there hasn't really been many shows where we just could look at that and say, well, that one was a pile of dog poo. It's just not like that right now. It's just not like that at all. We're literally all kicking ass and taking names right now. You guys are doing a great job as an audience. Fantastic job. Oh, yeah. Are they there, Dave? Who's they? Do. Oh, yeah. Corrins, we got to do a time slip show again. We totally got to do a time slip show. That was a fun show. I really enjoyed tonight. I really did. Hi, Persevere. How you doing? Hey, where's Heather? Where's Heather? Because I caught her lying on here on the chat room. She called me handsome. I did see that. I swore I saw that unless it got erased. Hi, Len. How you doing, man? Brutus, good to see you here. Hey, Kay Ingalls, thank you for coming on in. Who else are we missing here? Justin Goodearth, good to have you back. There it is. Heather. Hello, handsome. Oh, my God. Talking about... You can tell that she must have a real blurry screen. Real blurry screen. All right, we're going to download this show. We're downloading it right now. Let's put that one in here. I'm going to just move these. Throw them in the sin bin. For all you non-hockey fans out there, do you know what a sin bin is? Yeah, I'm starting to grow the beard again. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to keep this. Probably going to get rid of this little piece here and bring the beard back. Is what it is. Oh, thank you, Devin. Thank you for calling me ruggedly handsome. Look at Moonstone. She's blind, too. Oh, you are handsome. No. Shanna Banana's like hair down, smiles up. Okay. Lisa, listening still. Dave is so tired. You can tell. Dave is tired. There's a lot of truth in that, to be absolutely blunt. A lot of truth in that. All right, send the hair to Grandma Rose. This is for Grandma Rose here. Here, I'll give you a little tussle. How about that for Grandma Rose? Oh, what else we got here? Hello, Corrins. Oh, hey, Corrins. I am just waiting to hear back from Samantha Mowat for... I threw her a bunch of dates. So she'll be coming on in July as well. And, yeah, and then what we talked about earlier about that producer there. Mr. Crowley, do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Dun dun dun. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Mm-hmm. What else we got here? Hey, Steam Train Mark, how you doing? We haven't had David Adair on in a long time, and the reason why is David doesn't want to talk about his Area 51 rocketry stuff anymore. He wants to get into all this other type of stuff that I'm just not interested in. And it's not that he's a bad guy or it's a bad story or anything, but it really doesn't suit our format. So that's the reason why I haven't brought him on. And now, if he wanted to talk about his Area 51 stuff, I would totally bring him back. But he's just seems to be done with it. So that's not much I can do. Not much I could do on that point at all. I would love to. I totally would. But unfortunately, he doesn't want to, and I can't really force him on that. So that's where we stand, man. That's where we stand. You know? Mr. Crowley. Do 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 do. Oh yeah. I'm gonna let Grandma Rose buy me dinner in Vegas. Then we're gonna go play slot machines. It's exactly what's gonna happen. I'm on the Grandma Rose team, man. I'm totally on Team Grandma Rose. I'm going to, hopefully in the next little bit here, I'm going to get some swag and stuff. And I'm going to send Grandma Rose a t-shirt. I want a picture of Grandma Rose in a Spaced Out Radio shirt. Thinking of getting new glasses soon, too. I'm just trying to figure out what kind of frames. So I got a big head. Like, I got a large melon here, guys and girls. I got a large melon. And let's see here. Where do we come in here? Okay, so right there. And I'll figure that out figure it out at the end. Amplify this. A Spaced Out Radio babushka. That would be kind of cool. Mr. Crowley. It's the only lyrics I know from the song. I don't even think Ozzy knows half his lyrics anymore. Do 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 do. Mr. Crowley. Do 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 do. It's kind of amazing that people like Ozzy and Keith Richards are still alive. I mean that with all due respect. I'm not even being sarcastic about that. Good number, Jules. Good number. Do 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 do. Mr. Crowley. You know, somebody who's really not a fan of the show, they're going to be like, why the hell does this guy only sing Mr. Crowley? That's the only lyrics. It does feel like family. You're right, Lisa. That's a great, great point. Thank you for bringing that up. It totally feels like family. Mr. Crowley. Do 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 do. Somebody give me the second line. Apparently, the rumor is that before Sharon and Ozzy got together, Sharon was having a little bit of a woo-to-do with Randy Rhoads. They were bedmates a couple of times after having a few drinks. Then Ozzy got together with Sharon. What's the story with your guitar above you? The red one? The red one here? Like this one? What do you want to know? Only number 3? Doesn't make sense. Okay, I guess we're only on number 3. Yeah, that makes sense now. Do 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 do. Oh, yeah. Mr. Crowley, what they done in your head? Oh, Mr. Crowley, dun, dun, dun. Did you talk with the dead? Oh, yeah. There we go. That feels better. Thank you, Clam. See, that's why we got the Clam around here. When who used to say, I love you all? Dave will post my GoFundMe. Yeah, you can post your GoFundMe, Lisa. You can post your GoFundMe. I would allow you to. You just had heart surgery. Of course I'm going to allow you to do that. Do 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 do. Dave, what type of support hosiery do you wear when you search for Sasquatch? That's fucking hilarious. Pardon my language. I'm trying not to swear on here. I got told I shouldn't swear. That is bloody hilarious. Bloody hilarious. Yeah. Yeah, post it in here, Lisa. Go right ahead, sweetheart. You can do that. I'm wearing my new track pants that my parents got me. They're comfy. It's the first time I haven't done a show in either shorts or pajama bottoms. Excuse me. In a long time. These are good pants. So get this. I'll tell you a real cool and funny story. All right. So I get home from work today. And my son runs up to unlock the door. My son never unlocks the door for me. I slowly open the door, step inside, and as I step inside, the little bastard shoots me with his Nerf gun. It was on. It was on. Just like that. It was on. Okay, 1 second here, because I got to try this out again here. I think this worked last time. We did this. You might hear some feedback. Okay, hold on.
Charities.org and become a charities.org and become a donor today.
So right from there.
Charities.org.
Radio, welcome back to the shift live across Canada on the Chorus Radio Network. How are you, sir?
Hey, Drex. That's the part I want to cut out.
Radio, welcome back to the shift live across. Radio, welcome back to the. Radio, welcome back.
There we go. Hey, Drex, how you doing, my friend? It's always good to chat with you right here on Spaced Out Radio, because we love to get into the weird and strange, and I know you like it too, along with your audience.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And I know what.
There we go. That's what we wanted. That went actually quite smooth. Quite smooth. All right, 0526 SOR 6. Yeah. So anyways, me and the little guy today, he doesn't even allow me to get my gun. He's told me he's loaded his gun, his Nerf gun, and he told me he loaded mine for me to get it ready, because apparently this was a big plot since I left for work in the morning. All right. So now what I'm going to have to do is I got to have some payback here. So now what I have to do is I got to be packing some heat when I come home from work, because he totally surprised me. I took one right in the center of the chest. All right. I took one right in the center of the chest. Send the link to Corrence and he will be able to post it. Yeah. When I walked in the door, And then he proceeded to rapid fire me. He's got this great sniper rifle that he uses. All right. And yeah, he decided that he was going to go ballistic on me. So we literally spread about 60 or 70 Nerf bullets all over the kitchen and the living room and the hallway. Then we got kicked outside. Yeah. I got him, though. I totally got him. I accidentally got him right in the forehead. He's like, Dad, no headshots. I'm like, hey, dude, all's fair in love and war. I said no headshots, though. So what do you play, soccer? I did. I'm that guy. Totally did. Mr. Crowley. Hold on, I'll have more time for you guys in a second. I'm just loading these up right now. Yeah, I have a 12-shot magazine on my Nerf gun. My neighbor across the street, he's like, next time I see you guys going, he goes, I'm gonna bring out my 40-shot. I'm like, you bastard. So now I got to prepare for the neighbor. Okay, never mind. You know, I could take out the son. That's easy. But now I got to prepare for the neighbor. It's going to be on. It's totally going to be on. All right, we need to get a number here. What's our verification number going to be tonight? It's got to be 6 digits, everyone. 6 digits. I'm giving you time to prepare your 6-digit verification number for tonight. Your number tonight, your verification code is 310-928. 310-928. 310-928. Oh, yeah. I'm going to get my neighbor involved pretty quick. And I know he was watching us today out in the yard. Just staring at us, wondering. So, I mean, they're expecting their second baby in about a month. But I don't care. I don't care. I'm going to get him. No, it's strictly on the Nerf thing. Oh, Marty, that is brilliant. That is brilliant. I just saw that on Twitter, Marty, if you're listening. It was brilliant. All right. And we go there. $310-928 is the verification code. to transfer the radio show to one of the radio stations. Hi, fitness girls. With the double exclamation point. Mr. Davy. Mr. Davy. Do, do, do. Why do I look so low in my chair? I gotta bring the camera level down again. No, I'm gonna shoot the little guy. I'm totally gonna shoot the little guy tomorrow. I'm going to come in armed. I think that's the way I have to do it. I have to. So for people just tuning in, okay, on this video when it goes into our onto our channel, my son decided to attack me when I got home from work today with his Nerf gun. He totally surprise attacked me and hit me right in the chest with his sniper Nerf rifle. And I'm pretty sure that tomorrow, excuse me, I'm going to have to take my 3-shot Nerf handgun. Looks more like the PU-36 space modulator. I'm going to have to probably sneak in the back door and attack him. I don't think I have a choice. I really don't think I have a choice. All right. Good night, Shanner Banana. Who's all with us? Who's all with us? That's what I want to know. Who's all with us? Here's a question from Liza. Why are sinks so darn low you have to bend way down to wash your hands and brush your teeth? Because you're tall? I'm sorry. I'm tired today. Oh, I agree, Fap. There is going to be no mercy on him. There is so not going to be any mercy whatsoever. He literally, had his own personal Tet offensive against me. I'm in my work clothes. Okay. I'm tired. I'm not ready for it. Hey, Joe Colorado, aka Clint Eastwood. Yeah. I'm literally going to have to I'm going to have to come home armed tomorrow. Yep. I'm going to get him. I am so going to get him. Oh, shopping in the SOR store. Yeah, I'm still waiting on my designers to get back to me with some new swag. It's taking forever. Hey, Brutus, you have a good night, brother. Good luck at the dentist tomorrow, man. Night, Moonith. I agree, Fap. They gotta learn. All right, redheaded Lisa. 2 men enter, 1 man leave. Exactly. Yeah. Dad is gonna win this one. Dad is totally gonna win this one. I don't even know what to talk about. Like, my brain is like mush right now. Absolute mush. Hey, Chris Mo, thank you so much for those kind words, brother. Thank you so much. That means a lot. That does. I gotta put the hair up. I have to. Who wants to come fix my hair? And I gotta start looking at glasses because I need to get some new glasses. I don't know what I'm gonna get. Thinking of going with the thicker horn rims. I don't know. Find something. We shall find something, damn it. Ugh. We shall find something. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. I'll be right back, guys. I gotta go to the bathroom. All right. I'm back. I'm totally back. Totally back. See where we are on the downloads. Guess I can turn this off. Yeah, there we go. Turn that off. That way I don't have that buzzing sound. Did you know the Tic Tac came up beside the E2 Hawkeye? I had heard rumors of that. I did hear rumors of that happened. I wasn't sure if it actually did or not. Fitness girls, you got to get me into shape. Got to get me into shape. I'm not getting hairy glasses. And I'm going to assume by the title that you're probably in shape. Do you want to see the interview where it is talked about? I can find it. I can find it. Hello, Josephine. No, old Davy can lose some weight. Old Davy needs to lose some weight. It's true. It's totally true. I'm reaching out for help, fitness girls. Reaching out for help. The camera angle does wonders. Well, everybody, downloading is done. Downloading is done. So I am going to call it the night because I am like dead tired and I would like to get some sleep. But we'll see you all tomorrow. John Tenney, our guest. John Tenney. Let's have some fun tomorrow night. John Tenney. Sound good? Let's do it. All right, everyone. All right, I'm going to call it the night. I'm going to stop this stream. I never know how to end these things. I never do, because I always feel guilty because like all of you guys are still here. But I really do got to get some sleep. I am like a zombie right now. So I will talk to you all tomorrow. John Tenney tomorrow night. Steve Stockton on Thursday. Roundtable on Friday.